What's up, guys? We are live. So don't worry, she didn't flake, or at least not yet. She just messaged me that she's stuck in traffic running late, so we should be good to go. And then I have another person coming in after. So we're definitely going to get a good debate tonight. I am excited. I figured I'd start a little early so that you guys aren't wondering what happened. But don't worry, the debate is happening. Or so at least I think. All right, so I'll just take some questions in the meantime. Maybe to get pumped up, we can actually look at some funny TikTok reaction videos. Let's do that. Let me actually pull some of this shit up. I'm going to share my screen. So we'll get us all pumped up. All right, let's take a look. Okay, wait, mentions. There we go. Let's take a look.
6 incoming.
Hey, excuse me.
No. You know what's gonna happen? You walk up and try to talk to me on the street, I'll fucking run. I'm gonna run. Can you keep up, motherfucker? Can you keep up?
6.
Ew. Don't worry, lady. I'm not going to approach you. You're the last girl I will approach. Let's take a look again.
Incoming.
Hey, excuse me.
No. You know what's gonna happen? You walk up and try to talk to me on the street, I'll fucking run. I'm gonna run. Can you keep
Lady, don't worry. No one's going to come up and talk to you. That's not going to happen. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Why is it always like the weirdest looking people who are like criticizing my game? All right, let's take a look at this one. Oh, it's like fucking Frozen. I don't know. This one's like Frozen. I think this guy like fucked up uploading, so let's go to the next one. Oh, what the hell's going on? It's like Frozen. Let me restart my TikTok because something is going on here.
All right, guys, I'm going to be talking about the pros of taking Trenbolone. I'll talk about the cons later.
How are we supposed to have a conversation when you give me all this sass? Are you always this difficult on dates?
Fellas, that's how the game's supposed to be. let me show you what you gotta do. You're sass. You're super sassy. You're always this difficult to talk with? Yeah, I can tell, because you're sassy. So sassy. Sass. Sass.
I mean, I guess this is supposed to be funny. I don't know. This kid looks like he's 12. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Oh, it keeps freezing. TikTok is so fucking buggy. Whatever. This shit is freezing. So I guess that's enough of these reaction videos because this shit is fucking buggy as fuck. But yeah, this chick is. I think she's gonna be here soon. Okay, good video about RSD. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. Debate. No, I mean, why would I debate Kevin about John Anthony? But me and Kevin are going to debate about the Roe versus Wade thing tomorrow. What happened to debate yesterday? The guy got sick and we had to reschedule, unfortunately. And they told me like last minute. They told me like an hour before the debate. So yeah, I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt. So we're going to be rescheduling now because he got sick. What percentage of men do you believe have game? All men, including not just PUAs? 2%, 1%, most 5%. Make a Tinder experiment with the monkey sex doll. Oh, that could actually be interesting. Maybe I will do that. All the feminists complaining about catcalling literally wish they were catcalled. So true. Okay, let me see if I can give TikTok another whirl and see if we get this going. Work out for me, work out for me. Oh, I guess this wasn't like a roast. This was just normal commenting.
So how was your weekend?
Oh, we're really gonna like ask these stupid questions. It's only trying to be rude, but like, come on, like.
How are we supposed to have a conversation when you're giving me all this sass? Are you always this difficult on dates?
Not really, but.
So you're just being sassy for no reason?
Yeah, well, maybe I'm being a little bit more sassy than usual.
Yeah?
You're right, yeah.
Well, turn down the sass and step up the ass.
Okay, I guess this is not like a reaction. This
So how was
is
your
just
weekend?
him
Oh, we're
like
really gonna like ask these stupid
looking at my
questions.
video.
It's only trying to be rude, but like, come on, like.
Page not available. All right, this is what kind of quality on TikTok.
So how was your weekend?
Oh, we're really gonna like
See
ask
what
these
else we
stupid
got.
questions. It's only trying to be rude, but like, come on.
It's like all these pages are now unavailable. Oh, fuck this. Fuck TikTok. Yeah, but you guys didn't miss much. I forgot to share the screen, but yeah, like none of these were like fucking working. It was just all it was just all like whatever. Like it was just like error. Whatever. I think we've had enough of TikTok. Okay, I'll just take some questions until we the debate gets going. React to Ross Jeffries on NBC. He debated feminist front of audience women. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. I've never seen it. Alex, what's wrong with your right eye? Nothing's wrong with my right eye. I had it closed for that 1 second. Alex, can you review some of the guys' game on The Bachelorette? Sure. Yeah, I suppose I could. Yeah. Can graying hair decrease your SMB? If yes, there's a solution to solve it. Yeah, I think it can a little bit. The solution is just a diet. Hey, Alex, what do you think about island countries and pickup or dating? Really depends which country we're talking about. I haven't really lived on any island countries, so I can't comment too much. But it really depends on which one. Has any girl ever told you about your nose? That my nose is broken? Yeah, it's like fucking common sense. It's like, has any girl ever told you that you have blue eyes? Yeah, like it's obvious that my nose is broken. I broke it when I was 16. Hey, why do you recommend not paying for Hinge specifically? Because for Hinge, you don't really need the premium version in order to still get good results. Because the girls that like you already go to the top of your stack. And so, yeah, I just don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I actually don't watch any TV besides Game of Thrones. But yeah, sure, I could. I've already done a few Love is Blind videos. I broke my nose when I was 16. It was an accident. I hit it against a steel bench. Never been to the Mediterranean islands in Europe, so I can't comment. But I'm sure the game is like somewhat similar. Ever aimog the guy on the set? Yeah, many times, but I don't really like doing that kind of stuff anymore. Did I like Breaking Bad? I thought it was a decent show. I wasn't like the biggest fan, but I thought it was decent. Do you plan to go into the same bar club every weekend for night game, or should you change the venue? Well, it really depends. If it's a place that you're really having good success at and you like, then yeah, keep going there. If it's a place that you didn't really like so much, then check out new spots. Wait, how do you mean you? I don't watch. Yeah, I don't really watch TV. I haven't in like half a decade. I think it's like a waste of time. You're Alex. Have you liquidated all your crypto assets? No, I'm keeping the money in crypto because if I sell now, then I'm going to lose like 50%. I have a feeling, eventually crypto will go back up. So I'm just going to hold. I'm not going to invest any more money, but I'm going to just leave the whatever I have in crypto as is for now. Where's the SJW? She's coming. She told me she's running late and stuck in traffic, but she said she's coming. What do you think about AMS? Some things I agree with him on, but I think he's highly overrated, and I think he's wrong about some other stuff. Impossible question to answer. They're completely for different things. I'm thinking of hopping on TRT, but all my nuts shrivel up. Was that a problem for yourself? No, that's not really a problem unless you're doing super high doses. You can also take what's it called? There's things you can do to like even mitigate that risk further. I think it's called I forget the name. I'm sure it'll come to me. But the thing I'm saying is there's things you can do to mitigate that risk. But I never even did those things, and my nuts are still the same size. Alex, where's your coffee drink? Right here. Do more subscriber text breakdown. Yeah. I'll do more of those. If you guys want to email me some, if I get a good one, I'll pick it. So, are you planning to do another live text demonstration? Yeah, for sure. I do those periodically. What was your favorite OG Julian vid? My favorite OG Julian vid was the one where he talked about whipping his dick out. That was a really, really interesting one. Very polarizing, but interesting. You just re-engage her once again. Yeah, you just hit her up and see, what's up. How good is Gabriel Gray in your opinion? So I've never actually met Gabriel Gray in real life, but from what I've seen, I think he's really, really solid. Really solid. I would definitely, if I had to bet money on me or him when it comes to like cold approach, I'd bet money on him. Okay. Yeah, she's coming. She's just stuck in traffic. They're mildly important. They're useful. Yeah, you should fill those out. Favorite place you have ever visited? Favorite place I've ever visited? There's been so many. I like Colombia, Medellin. I like Fiji, New Zealand. Poland was cool. I mean, it's impossible to pick. Hawaii is fucking awesome. Probably not, but unless there's like really high demand. Yeah, she's coming. She's just running late. Would you prefer dating or conservative? Neither. Neither one of those would work for me in terms of a long-term relationship. What's your long-term relationship? Do you let Nat help you make decisions? So I don't have any kind of game strategy for relationships. My long-term game strategy is to have fun, be honest, communicate when there's something on my mind, and be empathetic. That's my whole long-term game strategy. It's nothing that I'm specifically doing. I don't believe in this concept that you have to game your girlfriend. I think that's really, really dumb. And it also seems like a nightmare. If I had to constantly game Natty, then why would I want to even date her? Because that's just like at that point, I might as well go out and meet new girls. So what I like about having a girlfriend is that you can relax. You don't have to worry. Like everything's good. You don't have to try to do something. So yeah, do I let her make decisions? Well, it depends. We make decisions together. It just depends about what. Like, yeah, she makes her own decisions about her life. I make my own decisions about my life. And then when it comes to like things that involve both of us, we make decisions together. I mean, like really one of the biggest secrets to a good relationship is just communication, honestly. Alex, I came up with a perfect response when you haven't heard from a Tinder. Well, I guess I like your speeches. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I'd be curious to see what kind of success rate that one's having. Okay. How do I repurge a girl who said she has a boyfriend? I wouldn't bother. Like, why would you reproach her if she said she has a boyfriend? If a girl says she has a boyfriend, it means one of two things. One is that she actually has a boyfriend, or two, she's just not interested in you, which is why she told you she has a boyfriend and get you fuck off. Either one of those is not a good thing. If a girl tells me I approach her, she says she has a boyfriend, I'm not going to reapproach her. I think that's just like a massive waste of time. Why did TikTokers think you have no game and get zero girls, worst game ever? Yeah, because they're just crazy motherfuckers, I guess. I don't know. They like sometimes call me an incel. I'm like, really? You think I'm an incel? Like I talk about banging girls all the time. My girlfriend's on like every stream. I have like fucking pornos floating around. You really think I'm a fucking incel? Did you check out that video where the guy in Florida gets questioned by cop for drinking cold portion? No, but I do want to see that. Let me add that to my let me take a photo of that because I do want to see that. That sounds very interesting. The debate is any minute now. We're just waiting on this girl. You should debate your girlfriend for a lull. We've actually debated in the past. There's a stream where we debated can men and women just be friends? I like Medellin the most. Russian language is similar to Ukrainian language, mutually intelligible. Yeah, it's pretty similar. I disagree with that. I think you should approach girls that you find attractive. Indicators of interest are a nice icing on the cake, but I don't think they're a prerequisite. Alex, do you make moves out in public? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll make out with girls in public and escalate. Okay. Oh, this chick is ready. I'll tell her to log in. Cool. Just all right. Date's about to happen. $300 to $500 probably, something like that. No, I tried reading The Witcher, but I couldn't really get into it. Wheel of Time now. Favorite GOT character? Mine is, that's an impossible question to answer. Tywin Lannister, Tyrion Lannister, so many. Oh,
Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing well, thanks for asking.
There's some playback on your side. Some massive. Are you using a mic?
No, I'm just using my laptop.
Do you have headphones in?
No.
Okay, because there's like massive. Okay, wait, now it's gone. Oh, okay, there we go. Did you do anything?
No.
Oh, okay, there was like horrible playback for the first 20 seconds. I don't know if you heard it, and now it's gone.
No, sorry about that. Maybe my.
You're good. That was interesting. That just went away on its own. But yeah, okay, cool. So thanks for coming on. Do you want to start off with a quick introduction, like a little bit about yourself, so people know who you are?
Yeah. So, hi everybody. My name is Phoebe. I'm a 27-year-old female. Identify as a woman. Yeah, I like saying that.
I identify as a horse, so.
Oh, that's fantastic. But anyway, so I have a really interesting background. I went to college, got my bachelor's in an interdisciplinary degree. So I did a triple minor in nutrition, psychology, and contemplative science. I am super passionate about mental health. I am super passionate about art, super passionate about having fun, and yeah, just being human. I love farming. I like growing my own food. So yeah, those are just like a few, fun little tidbits about me, and kind of gives like an idea of just the type of individual I am and things that I enjoy doing.
Cool. What's the most badass thing you grow? Well, like, do you do avocados, or what do you grow in your garden?
Oh, for growing? I mean, badass thing. I think everything's really wonderful. I think celery is probably my favorite thing to grow.
Okay.
And I love celery. I just enjoy that vegetable. It's actually an herb, which I didn't know for a while. That was interesting to learn. But yeah, so celery is really cool. It's really easy to grow. So if you ever buy a celery head at the grocery store and you chop off the bottom, you can actually take the bottom of the plant and stick it in some water, and it'll grow a whole new celery.
Cool. Yeah, my ex used to have a garden, and she used to grow avocados, and those were fucking awesome. I used to love those. And she grew like berries and stuff, which was really delicious. But yeah, so let's kick it off. So basically the way I always do these debates is we'll just go through, each thing one at a time. Then when we're finished with it, we move on to the next thing and so on. So it stays organized. But yeah, I'll let you kick it off. What was like the first, I guess, piece of disagreement that you have with my content, or something that stood out to you?
So I just wanted to open up with saying, first and foremost, I am not here to attack you, and I'm not here to judge your character. I totally see that you're somebody who wants to help individuals, which is awesome, right? You want to help guys who are struggling in the dating scene, because I feel like it would be a fair assessment to say you gear more your content towards your male viewers.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally. So I get that. And I sympathize with the fact that I like helping people too. So I would like to say, I guess my first question for you is, coming across the profile, I noticed that you said that you were a specifically a sex, dating, and self-improvement coach. So I just wanted to ask you more of your background. Did you study psychology in college, or have you done any kind of programs to help with like coaching? Like what's your background?
Yeah, so I went to undergrad, but I was a marketing major in college. I went to Boston University. I'm doing something completely unrelated to my major. For a good portion of my life, I worked in sales, and I was a sales trainer. So my job was to teach other people how to do sales. So they gave me a really good insight into psychology, how to making things happen, how to be proactive. And then I got into this. I stumbled into this accidentally. I had no desire to be a dating coach. I was just sharing stories in a Facebook group, and people would reach out to me, asking me to coach them, and then it all grew from there. So yeah, I would say that the chief of my experience comes from just being on the dating scene myself for a decade, really, really struggling when I was younger, and then sort of slowly figuring out. And also, like at this point, I have half a decade of clients, so I kind of learn from the patterns. So I see, okay, this and this and this worked for this guy. This didn't work for this guy. Why is that? And also we do podcasts where I interview women. So I would say those are like the three, that's the trifecta of where my knowledge base stems from.
Cool. Awesome. That's great to hear. And I totally understand. There's many people who will tell you they went to college for one thing and they're doing something completely different in their life.
No.
I will say when it comes to like having a strong foundation, especially in like sex education, there are people, and I think it's important to highlight, there are individuals who went to school for a very long time to understand the intricacies and the dynamics that go into sexual intimacy as well as dating. So that's why I was just curious as to exactly like what your parameter was in terms of like credentials. So I hear you that you're just more like I lived by these experience. I saw and observed what worked for myself, and that you're just sharing to people.
Yeah. Let me just quickly add also, like, I truly believe that you can't learn this stuff in college. And this is coming from someone who had like a scholarship to like a top 50 school. Like I was not like some college dropout. Like I was quite good at college to put it that way. But yeah, this is just not something that can be taught in college. It's not something that's directly taught. This is one of those things that you
hold on, wait, can I ask you really quick, just so I'm clarifying, so you don't think sex education can be taught in schools?
Well, you got to keep in mind, what I do is not really sex education per se. I'm a dating coach, right? And I help guys be better in bed. I don't think there's like a course in college that teaches you how to fuck girls better or how to make a girl orgasm. Like that's something you have to learn from experience. Like you can't read a book and then be like a champ in bed. Really
huh? I will say, I hear you that you don't think that maybe the physical engagement of sex is something that could be taught in the classroom. However, I want to ask, are you aware that people do go get their bachelor's as well as PhDs and masters in sexual education?
Oh, yeah, totally. I would just say that gives them close to zero qualifications into being an actual coach. I mean, I hear from my clients all the time, oh, I worked with this guy who had this and this and this, and it was useless. So I would say that, yes, I know you can go to school for that. I'll give you another example. I went to school for marketing. I went to a top 50 business school. Everything I learned in my college when it comes to marketing is close to zero useless when it comes to marketing my business. I had to relearn like real marketing. So yeah, I think college is for things like engineering and science, it's useful, but for this kinds of things, it's just mental masturbation.
Okay. So all right. So touching on sex education. So we'll start maybe there. I would like to ask you, why have you not once posted about the topic of consent?
In what sense? Like, what do you mean specifically?
Like, just, I think when it comes to educating on the dating scene, especially if are you familiar with how serious the statistics are as far as sexual assault and women for dating and stuff? Okay, so consent is like a really, really important topic to talk about in regards to dating, especially when we're talking to men who are going out to pursue women in a sexual way. So I wanted to ask you, why have you not talked about the definition of consent, examples of consent, ways to receive or to get consent from people. That's more or less
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah. I
why
got you.
kind of not talked about the topic
Yeah,
of
yeah. So
and
I've
how
never.
important it is. It's just like it's so important.
Yeah. No, I agree with consent is very important. I've never made a video directly related to it, but I have actually talked about it quite often. Whenever I do a video about like escalation and stuff like that, I always preface it by saying, "Hey guys, make sure everything's consensual. Like if the girl is not cool with it, don't do it." So I have talked about it countless times in videos that are about like escalation or anything where consent could be an issue.
What do you want to share with me, like which exact videos that you were targeting the topic of consent?
Yeah, it's any video that involves like escalation. So I'm talking about like this is how you whatever, like this is how you escalate on a girl, this is how you bring a girl back to the bedroom. I mean, I could probably pull it up. Is I'll
Do
be
these
like
sound manipulative to you?
uh,
How to get a girl back to your bedroom? Does that phrase at all to you feel like it could be manipulative?
it depends on how you get her back to your bedroom. If you're trying to trick her into getting back to your bedroom, then yes. If you're just inviting her over and being seductive, then no. So it really depends on the how, not in the actual term.
Okay. Do you ever educate men on what to do when they are rejected, how to deal with their anger, and how to deal with the pain of being rejected?
Yeah, I've talked about this in videos. I always say that you can't let the rejection phase you because the girl is not rejecting you; she's rejecting her idea of you, which might be completely different than who you are. That at some extent, it's a numbers game. So yeah, you can't get butthurt, you can't get pissy. You just gotta move on.
But what do they do if they're filled with rage and they don't know what to do with their anger? What do they do?
Well, that shouldn't be happening in the first
And
place.
that get violent and hurt women. So I just want to know how you're mitigating the chances of a man being rejected and harming another woman.
Yeah. So, okay, let's kind of get into that. I talked about this in a previous debate I had. So, the kind of guy who is the kind of guy that would actually hit a woman, it takes a special kind of guy to do that. I mean, special in a very negative way. He's not the kind of guy that's really going to be watching my videos. And if he is, he's certainly not going to listen to me when I say, don't hurt a girl or something like that. Of course, you never, ever lay a finger on a girl. Like that goes without saying. But if you're the kind of guy that gets so raged when a girl rejects you, you probably shouldn't even be doing pickup like at that point if you have, well, at least until you deal with their anger prompts. So yeah, I don't think like those are the kind of guys who are going to watch my content, and even they are, I don't think they're going to listen to me when I say it's like, like if I teach a chat, like if let's just put it this way, if Home Depot, they have like a section on hammers and they have a sign that says, oh, don't use these hammers to kill people, the serial killer is not going to be like, oh, there's a sign, right? He's going to do it anyway. So yeah, that's kind of my thought on that.
Yeah, I think I think one thing as a woman that I'd really like to articulate is the one very big difference that I think that there is between men and women that date is men are scared and women are scared, right? We're both scared when it comes to dating. We're scared of rejection. We are scared of getting our heart broken. Like we're scared of putting ourselves out there, getting into a relationship, getting intimate with somebody, and them choosing it's not us, right? Like this is pain that we all want to avoid. However, the one thing that I think is a difference is women are far more likely to have physical harm inflicted on them, or be potentially drugged, or, whatever the latter is in terms of how dangerous and really unsafe dating can be for women. Whereas on the other side of things, men oftentimes don't fear that a woman will place sexual advances on them that they don't want and could not handle saying no to. Not to say that it doesn't happen to men. I fully understand that there are some men that are subject to sexual assault as well, but it just, the numbers don't quite equal one another when it comes to the victims. And so when it comes to dating, it's just, I think where as a woman I get frustrated, as many men I don't feel recognize like how scary it is for women to go out into the dating world. And I see for you, you're more of the, hey, I'm just trying to help the nice guys who are constantly overlooked by women and they're constantly rejected and they maybe weren't the coolest or most athletic or they weren't whatever and they still deserve love. I'm here for that. Okay. That's where you and I, same team. I'm all about that. However, I really deeply care about the dating scene becoming a safer space. And the dating scene becoming a safe space because men take ownership and accountability over the way that they behave and how much they are oftentimes sex driven, and that they don't see women as a human being. They oftentimes first see a woman as like, I want to fuck this. They don't see a woman and say, man, I really want to get to know this gal before I try and sleep with her. You know, that's just not the world we live in. But
Depends on the guy. Some guys yes, some guys no. Yeah.
Right. Maybe I would say there are some men that are invested interests are, I want to meet a nice woman that I can settle down with and raise a family with and do
It's
these
more
things.
common than you think. It's more common than you think.
Totally.
It's a good portion of my clients, yeah.
I'm in the dating scene myself. I am a single 27-year-old woman. I'm in this as well. And as a woman, in the dating scene for the last 10 years, I can't tell you how many crimes have been committed against me as a woman. And I'm someone who genuinely tries to see the best in people. And that sometimes has been to my fault, right? Sometimes I'm like giving somebody a little too much leeway. And then I've watched men really, really disappoint, you know, and cause harm in physical ways and in emotional ways that they may not have realized how serious it was. And
Can I
so
comment on what you said? Because you said so much, and I just want to make sure that I get to all of it. So, okay, so let's unpack everything you said. So, yes, what you're saying is true when it comes to dating in first world countries. The statistics are overwhelmingly, like in terms of physical violence, skewed towards women being hurt. The one exception, not that it really makes a difference in terms of our debate, is in third world countries like Colombia, it's actually much more 50-50. There's a lot of men who get roofied. It's actually a whole like thing over there. They have a drug called scopamine. It's happened to my friends. Like they put in your drink, the girls rob you, and hopefully they just rob you. It could be worse. So that's common over there. But yes, we live in a first world country where violence is a lot more prevalent towards women. I will totally agree with that. And I think it absolutely sucks. And like, you know, if I could like click a button or wave a wand and eliminate all forms of sexual violence and just violence in general, I'll be all for that, right? I think violence, obviously, there's no reason to ever do anything physical towards a woman. We do have to separate the difference between physical abuse and emotional abuse. While they're both wrong, they're not in the same category. One is illegal, one is a crime, and one is just you being an asshole more often than not. So we do have to kind of separate them. So
let's pause and rephrase that. I think it's important to remember that when it comes to emotional abuse, and this is where actually, Alex, I do think it is relevant sometimes to have, I'm novice when it comes to my understanding of trauma, as well as the actual biopsychological mechanisms of emotions, right? Like emotions and hormones and the things that make us be the way that we are and do the things that we do. This is a lot of stuff that's like, we're talking like subconscious behavior, right? The unconscious going on in our minds. Like this is all stuff that is very relevant to this discussion. So before we call someone an asshole, I think it's really important that the mentality that when someone is struggling and causing harm and being mean and being a terrible person, it is because they are hurting. And
sometimes they're just a sociopath.
Or they have a really, really, really severe mental illness that does need to be addressed. But it just means that they are ill and they need assistance and support, right?
Yeah. So
stop them from causing harm to themselves and others.
I don't actually believe that someone who's a true sociopath, that can be helped with therapy. Like those people are like gonna commit fucked up shit, and
but they can also be potentially medicated. They could also be in a regimen around their emotional support and help. Like we kind of in this world do need to deal with the fact that psychopaths exist, that narcissists exist, murderers and rapists exist, and our voice, Alex, your voice is so powerful, right? Like you speak to so many people. You're posting on the internet, which reaches thousands, if not millions, right? And so what we say and how we choose to say it really does matter, and it has a huge impact, which is why I wanted to get on here and just chat with you. And I didn't want this to feel like an attack. I wanted you to just, remain open. I see sometimes the combativeness that can come up when you feel challenged. And I really want you to just feel safe here with me. This is a good play of like, this is kind of how humans just need to conduct themselves in general. Before we even talk about dating, we just need to remind each other that, hey, you're safe to be yourself. No, you're safe to share who you are. I'm not here to attack you. I am here to try and work together towards a better solution. And the whole reason I reached out to chat with you is my biggest concern is safety around dating, and that I feel as though your page lacks an element of just really being more heart-centered and being a little bit more compassionate and being a little less sex driven. I know this sounds really crazy. We live in a really hypersexual world. But I also think like the hypersexualness of our whole culture and society is kind of damaging to everybody involved.
Okay,
So for sex and dating, I just want to see a little bit more of an evolved message. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but let's try to go one by one. I'm totally down to discuss the whole sex focus thing, but let's kind of table that and get through like the violence part, and then we can totally focus on that because I think there's different topics. Okay, so I want to go back to the violence. So you would agree with me, obviously, that for example, while both of these are wrong, it's a lot more wrong to hit a woman than it is to gaslight a woman. Correct? Right?
I think they're equally as dangerous.
Oh, you wouldn't say like one is a lot more wrong than the other?
I think any kind of malicious behavior to hurt a human being, while I do think, yes, causing physical damage where you could kill somebody is awful, but I also believe that in the realm of emotional abuse, people do kill themselves, right? So like physical harm can still be created, right? An individual can get pushed to their limit because of who they're with or how they're being abused emotionally, and that can also kind of destroy and take their life away. So I do think both are pretty serious. I think physical and emotional, I think abuse in general just really needs to be addressed and dealt with.
What about like, let's take like physical violence against a woman and just lying? Like you would say those two.
I'm sorry?
What about, let's take something like physically abusing a woman and just lying about something?
Okay, so physically harming a woman in that scenario would be a worst case scenario than lying to the woman.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, let's kind of want to make sure. So, and also the important thing to keep in mind is one of those is illegal and one of those is not also, right? As a normal human being, you should be following the law, like except for like shit like speeding or whatever, smoking weed, but like, like those kinds of things, like, yeah, like that's clearly, one, ethically, it's really fucked up. Two, it's illegal, right? To, lay your hands on a woman. So anyway, someone who's this is something that came up during a debate I had last time, but the kind of guy who's gonna hit a woman, let's just hang in there with me because this might get confusing, but just try to kind of see where I'm going with this. It's not going to be your average guy. It's not going to be a guy like me who just like maybe like gets a little pissed off one day and like takes it out on a woman. Normal guys don't do that. That is not normal human being behavior. That is someone who's very angry, sociopathic, and a fucked up human being. It's not your average guy. And I will argue that that's not someone who's watching dating advice, but even if it is, they're not going to listen to me when I say I could have 20 videos saying never lay your hands on a woman. I've said that many times. I always, when the topic comes up, I say like, I don't believe you should ever lay your hands on a woman unless your life is in like physical danger and it's just like push her off, right? I was taught from a very young age, you never ever hit a girl. That's like a sin, right? Like it's like you never lay your hands on a woman. And I fully believe that. Like I would never hit a girl personally in my life, no matter how angry I was or anything that happened, unless it was purely self-defense. But so anyway, it takes a very special kind of guy to do that. And that is the kind of guy who I could have 20 videos about never hitting a woman. He's either not going to watch them, or if he does, he's not going to listen to me, because that is someone who is a fucked up human being. And I would argue that it would be much better the use of my energy instead of trying to appeal to that guy if I actually make content telling women what are the red flags to watch out for so they don't go out with that kind of guy in the first place. And I've done a little bit of content like that. I'll probably will do more in the future. But I would argue, like, I don't think I have any chance of reaching that guy. But I do think I have a chance of helping a young girl who's deciding who to go on a date on, and maybe helping her avoid the red flags that someone who's abusive will give her. So I would argue that's a much, much better use of my time. And your time is actually helping women watch out for the red flags rather than trying to help to these guys. They're sociopaths. We're not going to do it. But it is important to point out that's not the majority of guys. The majority of guys would never hit a woman. That's a very small minority of guys. And yes, they're very, it's very wrong, right? But it's not the majority.
It's not a small minority.
What?
It's not a small minority.
I mean, what percentage of men do you think
You are
wave
grossly
their hand?
overestimating the amount of abuse that goes on in people's lives.
I fully believe that. I have a lot of female friends. I've heard the stories. I know there's a lot of red pill guys in the community who say like, "Oh, rape is just like most women are like." I don't believe that. I actually think most cases of rape go unreported based on the stories I've heard from girls. I know dozens and dozens of girls who told me they've been raped and they didn't go to the police. So I fully believe that rape goes underreported. However, right, it is still a small percentage of men who's committing those crimes. It's not 50% of men. It's not 30% of men. It's a small percentage of men who are doing
So
stuff
how
like
big
that.
is the percentage? You're speaking very matter-of-factly of the exact amount of men that perpetrate these kind of crimes.
I don't know the exact statistic on it, but if I had to bet,
Okay,
I would say
so you're speaking in an uneducated way about this. Like that, this is something that I want you to be very, very careful. I think to grossly underestimate the amount of violent crimes being committed and who is committing them, and
do you have a
speaking
statistic on that? We can take a look.
candidly about that is a very dangerous thing to do.
Do you have a statistic we can take a look at?
As far as like rape is concerned and as far as abuse is concerned, like for example, like right now how fucked up the world is, because you're thinking like there's not that many people out here that are doing bad things. Just a fun quick stat that I read at the police department where I was there over the weekend while one of my friends was reporting domestic abuse because she came over to my house with bruises on her body. And by the way, her boyfriend, normal guy, right? Lost his cool. But anyway, when I was at the police department, I saw that 1 in 4, I believe it's 1 in 4 little girls are molested. 1 in 5 or 6 little boys is molested. I think 1 in 5 children suffer from some form of abuse in their households. And as far as women's concerned in terms of rape, I know for Indigenous women, it's 1 in every 2 Indigenous women is raped or murdered.
Right. But I'm not,
Really?
yeah. So totally believe that, not denying that at all. But my question is what, and I actually pulled up a statistic, is what percentage of men are doing the raping? Because it can be one guy who rapes 20 girls, right? Like, it's not like if you're a rapist, you're not just going to stop at one, right? You're assuming they're going to keep going, right? So, and I actually pulled up a statistic on this, so let me share the screen. But basically, it says that 3% of men are commit rape or sexual violence in their lifetime, which it kind of goes in line with what I was thinking.
What was this source?
Oh no, this is experience. Never mind, I read that wrong.
Yeah, 3% of men have been raped. What's the statistic of how many women have been raped about? So 3% have experienced it.
It's high, I'm sure. No, I have no disagreement with you on the fact that a lot of women have been raped. I totally get that. I totally believe that. I think it's even more
We're talking about violent sex. Like, do you think things like discussing porn on your dating app and how dangerous porn can be? Have you talked about that at all?
I don't think there's any correlation between porn and rape. I think porn can be detrimental for your ability to be intimate with a woman in some ways, but I don't think it causes you to commit a violent crime.
So you don't think boys that have been watching porn that involve things like rape or incest or abuse of women since they were young boys at the ages of maybe 10, 11, 12 for decades watching this kind of content, you don't think that might have any kind of influence on their behavior?
No, I was one of those men. Okay, I actually found a statistic. Okay, let me pull this up. No, but to answer your question, no, I don't think that plays any kind of a role. I watched massive amounts of porn when I was younger, and I can tell you I've never.
I can tell, Alex. I can tell you watched a lot of porn when you were younger based upon your page. Okay.
Believe it or not, I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19, so I was kind of.
I also believe that too.
Okay, 1 in 16, 6.5% of men are rapists. 2000 Lysex study. Although other studies show nearly a size 15%.
One in how many?
Okay, so 6.5 to 15%, depending on the study.
Okay, so anywhere between 6 to 15% of men that we come across are rapists.
Right. Which kind of what I was saying is like it's not the majority of men. It's a.
But like that number on large scale. So like 15% of a population is fucking enormous.
Right. But again, the point I'm making.
No, not right. But I hear you say I grossly underestimated how many rapists there may be on the planet, or especially in America.
No. I think you're misunderstanding me. So no, that's kind of what I thought it was. I thought
you're incapable of ever being wrong. Do you know that?
just let me finish. Like you'll understand my point. No, I'll fully admit when I was wrong, but no, I thought the number was like around 10% or something like that. I think I said 5 to 10%. I don't remember exactly, but anyway. So yes, like it's well, the point I'm making is if you have 10 guys in a room, it's not like half of them are rapists. Like one of them.
We don't know that. We don't know that. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to know who's the rapist and who's not? Nobody has rapist tattooed on their forehead.
I totally understand.
Your dating page really matters because a lot of these guys, Alex, I believe that are watching you, these guys, I believe some of them are causing harm to women. And I do believe some of your messages is harmful because I don't believe you're heart-centered. I don't believe you're coming from a place of compassion. I believe you're coming from a sex-driven place that objectifies women.
Okay, well let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I mean, I did kind of want to keep it at one top, but we can move on to this. So, what specifically do you think in my content encourages violence towards women or any kind of like abuse towards women?
The fact that your content is really geared towards a lot of like you're very big on like and it was already like you wanted to use a different profile picture for me, right? You wanted to use the more attractive, you know, like sexy looking photo to grab attention, right? Like that tactic is, in my opinion, like kind of gross. Like you're baiting people with like looks to try and get attention for yourself.
It's an attractive thumbnail.
What?
That's YouTuber 101 is you use a good thumbnail to get people.
Which I liked my photo, but you said it wasn't attractive or captivating.
I never said it wasn't attractive or captivating. I just said I thought the other one was better, but then I was like, okay, cool, we can use this one anyway. I never said you're not attractive or captivating. I just said, hey, I think the other photo is better for the thumbnail.
It was the essence, though, of the one photo was my more masculine kind of energy, my kind of goofy side, versus the like, this is me being a hot girl. This is me being some kind of object for you.
It's just a more attention-grabbing thumbnail, yeah.
Right, but I think that kind of mentality, like that men are, I really struggle with the fact that I genuinely feel to my core that men don't see women, they see objects first. And I really struggle with this. And it's where like on your page, it's all about sex in the physical. It's not talking about syncing up your breath. It's not talking about locking in and having strong eye contact in intimacy. It's not talking about any female anatomy. You are not giving any kind of education about exactly how a woman's orgasm works.
Well,
You're not.
Phoebe, I've done that many times. I had literally a female sex expert on. We talked 2 hours about giving.
On your TikTok page, I didn't see it at all. I'm not on your YouTube. I'm on your TikTok page.
You can't talk about that kind of stuff on TikTok. Like
I'm sorry.
You can't talk about ultra sexual stuff on TikTok. That's the problem. I can't put that stuff. I put that stuff on TikTok.
I know there are people who are discussing female anatomy. They're discussing, especially with what's going on when it comes to like women's rights and our reproduction rights. The conversation is being had about our body autonomy and our anatomy. And I think a lot of men actually really lack understanding around women's biology. And like talk about wanting to like score big. Like if you actually understand how a woman's cycle works, I've never seen you talk about the menstrual cycle for a woman. Have you educated them on the 4 different phases of the menstrual cycle? No, you're not teaching them. You're teaching men how to play the game and manipulate. And I think that is in poor taste. That's just me.
Okay. Let's just go one at a time because there's a lot of stuff that you just said. So in terms of, yes, you're right. You can talk about like Roe versus Wade on TikTok, but every time I made a TikTok talking about more sexual type of things, like this is how you make a girl orgasm, it always gets taken down. So I've learned my lesson not to put sexual stuff on TikTok. That's why that kind of stuff for me is on YouTube. But if you go through my YouTube, you'll see I talk quite a lot. In my new product that I just released, there's a whole demonstration purely on how to eat a girl out and make a girl come from oral. Like literally a giant, massive demonstration with a voiceover on that. So I place a lot of importance on being a good lover, for sure. I just can't put it on TikTok. That's the first thing. But the second thing I want to go back to what you were saying earlier about the thumbnail thing. I just don't understand how that in any way, how like me wanting to have like an attention grabbing thumbnail, which is something that every single YouTuber does, in any way relates to sexual violence. Like, can you explain to me how that link is?
Yeah. All right. So as a woman, right? So I really struggle with in my life, my body in the world when I go out, it like if I wear less clothing, right? If I choose to wear like a skimpier outfit, if I choose to wear a crop top and like lower cut shorts, or I'm wearing a really tight dress, immediately, like it's the same principle of dress code. back in school. Do you remember dress code?
Well, I never had it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So like public education. I was a public education kid, went to public high school. There was this thing called dress code. And oftentimes the only people affected by dress code were women or girls, young girls. Those words get gross, but young girls being asked to cover their bodies up more. And what was the reason? Because boys can't control themselves, right? So this has been a dialogue for a long time that, you know, girls, cover up those shoulders. Those shorts are too short. You're showing too much cleavage, which the message of that was who you are, your body, your physical body is unacceptable because other people can't control themselves when they see it, okay? So that mentality grows and it evolves and it integrates itself into people so deeply they aren't even aware it's really happening, right? So many times guys don't mean to right off the bat turn a woman into an object, but they almost can't help it, right? Like it's like they're like, I'm a man and I'm primal and I have these drives, right? However, I'm a woman who hooks up with women. I am a bisexual, and when I see women, I don't immediately want to fuck them. You know, like that's just not, I can control myself just because a woman is wearing a skimpy outfit or is clearly like feeling herself. She's got a gorgeous outfit and a flawless face on, and she's looking amazing. My being, even though I'm attracted to women and I have sex with women, I don't look at her and like drool like I have to fuck her. Like it's that mentality that is really harmful. And it's people being addicted to sex. It's people being addicted to like, I need to feel good about myself because I don't. And I want this physical stimulation to give it to me right now so I can feel a little bit better. But that sex is so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. There's spiritual scripture around this in terms of like tantric sex, right? Like have you heard about tantric sex?
Yeah.
Okay. So like that's an awesome field to explore. And in fact, I would encourage you as a sex and dating coach, go down that route, go down that like meditative, mindful, present moment kind of love, because that is where magic is, in my opinion. And that's where safety lies. So the thumbnail photo, my reference to the fact that women are objects. And in that regard, I have to be very careful 9 times out of 10 about the things that I'm putting out, because I know so many people struggle to control themselves. Specifically, when I say that, I mean men. And that men will say the most inappropriate, they will harass me on the internet. So by the way, you posted a video one time that said, hey, if she doesn't respond back, hit her up a couple times. That's called harassment, okay? No contact is communication. If someone doesn't respond back, it's because they forgot and you slept their mind, or they're busy and they're not interested. And like, you just got the essence of ghosted, which sucks. And I've been ghosted. I've never sent multiple text messages up to follow up. Like, I really struggle with men not understanding just how deep it goes when it comes to the objectification of women.
Yeah, I get all that. I still have no idea, though, how me wanting to use a thumbnail of you that you had on your profile page and asking you respectfully once is in any way tied to sexual violence. Like, I'm not.
No, Alex, I think you're taking this a little too far. I'm not saying that you wanting to choose that photo was you inflicting any kind of violence on me. However, you using that photo to a lot of viewers who are single males and then will go to my page and then potentially harass me when I don't respond to them and don't stop messaging me and expect me to reply to them. And then if they don't, who fucking knows? Maybe they want to kind of like figure out where I am and try and come find me. Like, that shit's fucking scary and creepy. Like, that's not how I want to meet my person. That's not what I'm looking for. And like, that's what happens. Like, I just want to clarify that, like, I didn't want you to use that photo intentionally because I was concerned about your target audience potentially seeing that photo and objectifying me with it. And that's not necessarily your fault, but that is, I want you to be aware that I have to mentally think about that.
Okay. I mean, that's totally fine. You're entitled to take any photo that you feel comfortable with. I just, again, like, that I can't read your mind, so like I don't know how that like in any way ties into.
You wrap your brain around that. Can you imagine if like your photo, like let's say you you know, you took a photo of yourself where you looked like nice, you're dressed up in a nice suit, and that if I used that photo, that you were scared that like the use of that photo could potentially bring negative attention to you that you don't want and weren't asking for in the first place.
Yeah, I guess I would. It's just that you had it as your profile photo, so I figured that you were cool with it because you had it as your profile
My
photo.
page, which my content I was curating very intentionally to reach women.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just argue as like a side note that like even though you might be trying to reach women, there's men who are going to see your page. Like you're a pretty girl. There's going to be men who follow you simply for your looks. And so if like you're concerned about, I don't know, dudes like harassing you, even on your TikTok page, I would avoid like sexy photos. But anyway, that's just it's completely on your.
How crazy that is? Wait, pause. Alex, can we talk about that? How crazy is that? That I literally like can't post a photo of myself that I would feel like I look good in because of that.
You can do whatever you want.
Like it's like because like I would want to, but I don't because of this big issue around men not being able to control themselves and not understanding what harassment is or
no, you're misunderstanding me. I'm totally cool with you. Like if you were like my friend or my daughter or something, I'd be like, yeah, post whatever you want. But if your biggest thing is you're worried maybe one or two guys like DMing you and harassing you, if that's like something you're really concerned about, then it would be rational for you not to put a sexy photo as your profile photo. That's just like
I'm just saying to you, like, isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I agree with you, right? But again, like I have no control over like you have no control over the men. You just have control over yourself. I have control over myself and my content. I have no control over other women, right? So we have to control the things that we can. You know, we can't control everything that's outside of our control. That would just be like impossible.
So we would also like recommend like maybe don't tell men to send multiple messages if a woman hasn't responded.
Okay, so I very clearly always say don't harass girls, don't annoy girls, don't badger girls. I'm pretty clear on that. The double texting thing I say is when you're talking to a girl and, for example, she forgets to respond or something like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with following up, being a little persistent, which is not the same thing as harassing a girl, bombarding the girl. Sending a nice follow-up message is not the same thing as being like,
one follow-up message, totally fine. Anything after one follow-up message is inappropriate, and that's basically.
I would even argue against that. Like I've had situations where I had to triple text a girl, and then she'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't see the message," and we wound up meeting up and hang out. I can show you example after example.
I'm a girl who's gotten like messaged like 4 or 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and I've had to finally be like, "Hey, wow, okay, I'm really busy. I'm so sorry. I can't. I don't want to now either. You have completely."
Yeah, I get.
As you had, I just want you to be aware on the other side of things that like I'm a gal who's like, if I get sent multiple messages, I'm gonna be like, ooh, yeah, no, I'm good. You know?
I think it's also the Jesus lies in the details. So like, for example, there's a big difference between a guy who hits you up 5 times in the span of one day and is like, why are you not responding? Please don't respond. That's not the same thing as a guy who sends you a message, waits a few days, maybe follows up with you, and then maybe waits a week or 2 and just sends you one more follow-up message that's nice and polite. That's like, hey, I was really interested in meeting you, but if you're not interested, that's okay. Those two are not the same thing, and you're not going to have the same reaction. I severely doubt you would get majorly turned off if a guy waited a week and then he sent you a nice follow-up message. What you're talking about are guys who are like annoying and harassing you, right? Those are different things.
Well, no, I'm telling you that like as a woman, I have, for example, right, I've gone out. I'm just minding my business. Maybe I'm out at the bar or whatever. And then I meet a guy and we chatted for a little bit and he seemed nice in the moment. And I was like, oh, okay. And he texted me, sent me a message, said he wanted to hang out, but I had a busy week. I also wasn't really interested in looking to hang out with somebody. I wasn't looking to meet somebody. I was just out of the bar, either by myself or with friends. And then that gentleman, which this is based off true stories. Okay. So this has happened to me that I, gave my number to some dude and then he messaged me. I didn't respond back. He did wait a couple of days, messaged me again, waited a couple more days, messaged me again. At that point, that guy in my brain I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If he didn't understand that, like, I see my text messages, like I do read, like my phone is on me all the time. But my friends and I have an agreed understanding. Sometimes I respond back in 2 seconds. Sometimes I respond back in 2 weeks. No matter what, you're going to get a response from me. But if you quadruple, triple text. If it's not an emergency that I am being called to, there's just no reason to send me that many text messages because
I get that. But this one, the thing is, you never respond to this guy in the first place, so that is different. I would never advocate triple texting if the girl didn't respond to your opener, right? That would be.
Could it be possible that a guy on TikTok scrolling sees that one video of saying, "Yeah, by the way, you should send multiple messages." He keeps scrolling. You know how TikTok works. You know how fast people are. They don't really follow up things. They may not check out your YouTube channel.
I can't be responsible for people misinterpreting my content.
But Alex, taking ownership over how your content could be misinterpreted is important.
But
I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I look at my content and I go, how can I do better if this didn't land the way I wanted it to, or if I'm clearly getting feedback that I was not looking for, right? There's such a powerful part of being the kind of human being who can be like, I could see how I could have done that a little bit better, right? And that's why coming on here, I wasn't trying to attack you or say that you're some kind of like wacko crazy dude that I saw a human being that's trying to help others, and I think that's admirable. But at the same time, I just wanted you to be aware that I think some of your messages for the viewers that are kind of like, whatever, they're not paying that close attention, could internalize some of these messages and they would become dangerous. And that was solely the only thing I wanted to get on here and mention to you, was that I felt like your content was very sex forward without enough sex education and enough discussion around the harm that happens to women. I think it would be really powerful if you discussed from the eyes of a woman, like even the smallest thing. Alex says, I know this sounds silly and crazy, but when I'm on a date with a man, I really don't want him to touch me at all. I don't want him to graze me. I don't want him to put nothing. Because when I'm on my first date with somebody, you are a total stranger, okay? And like any other total stranger, I am going to have so many walls up in protection. And that to actually be someone who takes walls down is someone who is patient, someone who is willing to be open, someone who is willing to talk about consent and be like, hey, is it okay if I give you a kiss on the cheek goodnight? And to me, that is the sweetest, most wonderful and kindest thing a guy can do.
Okay,
and if a guy kissed me and was like, may I kiss you on the cheek goodnight on a first date, I would be like, that is a stand-up gentleman who respects me and isn't just trying to fuck me. That
is straight up friend zone material. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever had a one night stand, if you don't mind me asking?
So I don't feel super comfortable giving a direct answer to that. As far as
the reason I'm asking is not to put you on the spot, but it's because you said that I think there's quite often, and this goes to a different point. I made a video on this today. There's a big difference between what women say they want and what women truly want. And so you mentioned you don't like a guy to even touch you on the first date, which would mean that you've never had a one night stand. But I speculate, being the young liberal girl that you are, that's probably not the case.
I have. I mean, listen, I'm sober. I was an alcoholic. I was a full-blown addict in my younger years. So when it comes, that's why when I say I have been subjected to the worst of the worst. I was almost kidnapped when I was in Miami. I've had some really scary stuff happen to me as a woman. I had a man break into my apartment and try and get in bed with me, dude. I've had some fucked up, scary shit happen to me as a woman, and those are true stories.
I totally get that. Yeah, I believe you.
This is the reality for some women right now, and so when it comes to this idea, when you say the term friend zone, I admitted I'm back in middle school or high school. I'm what? Friend zone?
Well, it's not something that girls have to worry about, but something that happens to a lot of guys. I have a whole bunch of male clients who that's happened to. But I guess, okay, let me kind of rephrase the question. And if you don't feel comfortable answering, that's cool. But I guess I might be more curious. Have you ever had a one night stand, or it doesn't have to be a one night stand, just where you had sex on the first date, where you weren't massively drunk, where it was a conscious decision on your part?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
No.
Interesting. That makes you quite different than most women.
Well, I'm different than most women. So I'm a unique individual in the sense that I was, full disclosure, I was raped probably upwards of maybe 12 to 15 times when I was younger.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, really, really bad. One of which was a gang rape when I was in college.
Sorry.
So like really, really fucked up stuff. And it's taken me years, years of therapy to get through that.
Dude, I'm really sorry to hear about that. I mean, obviously, like that's really messed up. So, my heart goes out to you when it comes to that kind of stuff.
So really quick, because in that full disclosure, I know this is an uncomfortable topic. I get that. When I was younger, I didn't think sex mattered. I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't treat it like it made that big of a difference in my life. And as I have grown and become a woman and an adult, I have learned how it is a big deal. Having sex and engaging in that act it's the closest and most intimate thing that I could possibly do with a human being.
Yeah.
Like
Sex is different things for different people, right? For like porn stars, it's just more.
Listen, I dated guys that were like, sex is just sex. It's not, it can be physical, it can be intimate and emotional, but sex is sex, right? Like that was a reiterated thing in many of my relationships that ended them, because I was like, if that is the way you feel and believe, that's fine, but you're not for me. Like I need someone who understands that sex is sex magic. I mean, sex is creating a life. Sex, there's so much energy that comes from sex, like the big orgasm, like that is a big deal. It's a lot of energy. And I think unfortunately in our current society and culture, sex has been grossly diluted, and it's gotten to the point where sex is meaningless. And we want
let's talk about that. Yeah. Okay.
And anxiety. Like I just think a lot of this stuff does have to do with one another.
Okay, let's talk about it. That's kind of the next topic, but you kind of segue to it. So let me ask you this question: do you think there's something wrong with having casual, emotionless sex?
As long as it's consensual, no.
Oh, okay. So you're cool with like a guy and a girl who just want to fuck, just be fuck buddies, getting together and having sex if it's consensual?
Yeah.
Okay, so then
there was no manipulation, no coercion. Right. Two genuine people who are like, I can't commit to a full-time relationship, or I don't want to get married. I don't want to have
people who are horny.
What?
Or just people who are horny.
Or that.
No.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Men and women have sex quite often because they're horny, right? I've done it. Girls I know have done it basically. Yeah. So if that's the case, if that's how you feel, so you're not like one of those like, I guess, far right Christians who think that sex should only happen with marriage or whatever, right? I've debated some of those too. You don't seem like that type. So if that's the case, then what is the problem with me having a lot of content about how to have casual sex?
I think again, it's more or less. I have felt from some of your content that the intention is, or it can be read as you are teaching men to manipulate women into doing certain things, whether you think it's malicious, not kind of manipulation, but just the like how to get a girl. It's more just like, just be yourself. Like, just learn who you are. Understand that you're a unique and awesome human being. And like, there is one other human being on this planet that will see you for you and love you. And like, until you find that person, just keep doing you.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So you're probably not familiar with this, but there's actually a meme in the dating community, and it's called "Just Be Yourself," because that's like the cliche advice that everyone gets, but it doesn't really help guys because it's just like, okay, what does that mean? Just being yourself is great when you're a cool guy who's smooth and charming, and charismatic, but when you're like a random insult, wait, hang on, let me just finish, please. When you're a random insult, it doesn't really help you, right? Okay, but I want to talk about the manipulation specifically. Like, where do you feel was the manipulation in my content?
It is how you structure everything. It's like how you kind of set up your content. It's how you prop up your content. It's how to get the girl, how to do this, how to do that. When, in my personal opinion, and especially from actually watching people who went to college and got their masters and PhDs in the thing like psychology, where like they didn't just go get a job in sales and pretend like they know psychology because like they worked a job in sales. There are therapists who like do couples counseling. There are people who are very educated on relationships, right? And I'm someone who's like, let's leave advisory to those who have dedicated their lives to this, right? Let's leave advisory to the people who are committed to really, in an unbiased way, understanding as much information as we possibly can about a topic. And when it comes to sex, I think personally, this is just my opinion, and this is not an attack on your character, but I do believe you lack credentials, and I do believe you lack actual education, evidence-based education to actually help people, and that a lot of your content it can be misleading to those who are maybe not quite stable or in the right state of mind, and may see some of your content and take it as validation for a lot of their inappropriate behavior. And so
let's slow down, because you said two separate things. So you're making two arguments. One is that I'm not really qualified to teach this stuff. So let's table that argument for a second. We'll discuss that. But let's talk about the manipulation, which is the original point. So I could be the most unqualified person in the world. I'm a virgin incel. That still doesn't make my content manipulative, right? I need you to point out an example of manipulation that I teach.
How to get a girl to do X. That is a manipulation statement.
Not if you're being honest. If you're like, how to get a girl to have sex with you, and you're like, hey, do you want to have sex with me?
No, that mentality. Do you understand this mentality? How do I get a girl to do this? That is literally being, how do I force somebody? How do I change who I am to get what I want?
That is just a clickbaity title, Phoebe.
But that's dangerous, Alex.
But if the content is not manipulative, the content is talking about being straightforward, honest. Like having a clickbaity title, I understand the clickbaity title is like how to rape a girl. Yeah, that's fucked up. But if the title is how to get a girl on a date, right? Just because I use the word get doesn't mean it's
how to get a girl upstairs, how to get a girl to do this. Like, this is stuff that is coercive. This is stuff.
I'm teaching people to be honest. You have an issue with the title, but the title in of itself, it has nothing to do with the content. It's just clickbait.
Which I think is inappropriate.
That's something every single YouTuber on the planet does. There's no way I can be competitive on YouTube if I don't use clickbait titles.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I still want to get to the fact that within the content, though, I think creating even content that is in here, ready? I see you being having two options. You can make one video that is how to get a girl back to your apartment versus how do I make my apartment a safe space for a woman to come home?
Do you really think people are going to click on the second video? Like, do you think in terms of like views?
I do. I think women will be like, that's interesting. I wonder what he's going to say.
My content is for men. Women aren't going to watch my content. My audience is 90% men.
You know, women, I saw your content. It came up on my For You page.
Okay, yeah, I mean, sure, sometimes it works that way, but generally speaking, most of my audience is men. It's like over 90% men. But in the how to get a girl over your place, I just talk about what's a smooth way to invite a girl back to your house. What's the manipulation there if you're just consciously inviting her back to your place?
It's so, like I said, you're negating the fact that I just gave you the two options you could. You just said, I would rather get more engagement and views than post what is the right thing to say.
No, I don't think it's the right thing. It's just a more like nice sounding SJW title.
You mean the safe thing to do?
But how to get a girl? How to create a safe space to get a girl back to your place? That's
no. How to get her back to your place? How to create a safe space to invite a woman into? How to create safe space for women? That I'm telling you, Alex. I'm asking you actually, as a woman, I am asking you to sit and to really deeply think about ways in which you could create a safer environment for women, because you do talk to predominantly men.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no way I would ever do a title like that. It's like, honestly, like pretty cringe. No offense.
What?
To do like, it's just like a really cringe title. No offense to you, but like
to be a person, it's cringy. That's why the world is the way it is, Alex. Because I'm too cool to be.
I'm just not gonna take my titles and water them down for the sake of like not pissing people off on the internet. Look, if you can point an example in my content where I say something that's manipulative, I'm totally open to reconsidering
I just did. How to get a title.
It's a title.
I think it's a manipulative statement.
It's a title, but it's not the actual content.
The whole video is do this, not this. And both actions, in my opinion, don't work.
Which video are you talking about now?
I'm letting you know, and all of your male followers know, the advice you give makes me laugh. I'm like, no fucking way. I would never date these guys. I would never date guys that do this.
You say that, and
I'm a single woman who is looking for a man. Like, And I'm not this alt-right Christian gal. I'm also like, I'm a pretty like.
Well, so if my content didn't work, why would I have slept with hundreds of women? Why would have my followers all had good success? Like, why would I have podcasts with like the most renowned dating coaches on the planet? Like,
Who's
why?
the most renowned dating coaches on the planet that you're talking to?
I've done even some of the most biggest female dating coaches, Kezia Noble.
Name them. Let's know who they're.
What? Sorry.
Who are their names? What are they?
Courtney Ryan, Marnie, your personal wing girl, Kezia Noble. Those are the 3 biggest female dating coaches in the industry. I've done podcasts.
Never heard of them.
Okay, well, yeah, because you're not in this industry. But anyway, going back to the point.
Oh, no, I look up dating coaches. I follow relationship counselors.
Well, you really don't if you don't know those people, because those are the 3 biggest females in the industry.
Okay.
So either you're not really familiar with the industry, or you're not familiar with the industry. Because if you were,
okay, I'm not familiar clearly with your side of the industry.
But they're not even like my side. Like they're women who give dating advice to men. Like they're pretty like, I think you would probably like all of them. They're very like, they give good, healthy advice. So yeah, they're not like some randos. Like one of them has 1 million subs, one of them has like 500,000. Anyway, going back to the earlier point, we're talking about the title of the video. I don't see how a title can be manipulative if it's not the content. How to get a girl over your place, right? That's not manipulative in of itself. It depends on how you do it. If you get the girl over your place through trickery, then yes, that is manipulative. If you get the girl over your place through seduction and being honest, that is not manipulative. So that statement in of itself.
You think it's a good idea when women use their seduction tactics on men to get what they want?
They do it all the time.
I know. Do you think it's right?
I don't think it depends on what they're trying to do. As long as they're not being manipulative and dishonest, then yeah, I think it's totally fine. Women have game. It's not like as necessary as male game, but I've seen female game.
Okay.
Yeah. But going back to the other point is you were saying like, oh, like I laugh at your advice. I think it's a joke, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's interesting. But the thing is there's a massive difference between what women say works and what actually works. I did a video today, I don't know if you saw it on my YouTube channel, where there was this like really prominent feminist, right, who talked about how she went on a date with a dominant alpha guy, right, how that stood out to her, even though that stuff makes her cringe. So there's plenty of examples of women saying one thing and doing another, right? Now, I can't appeal to every girl. There's going to be some girls who are not going to, whatever. Like my goal isn't to help guys get every single girl on the planet, but it's to increase their chances getting women. And I have a really, really good track record at doing that. Like hundreds, if not thousands of testimonials, people emailing me, people DMing me, my own personal experience of my friends. So like, I think it's pretty I don't know what the word is, disingenuous to say that like my content doesn't work. Like you can say that my content is like manipulative, which we can go into, but to say that it doesn't work, like what are you even basing that on? Just because you found it funny?
Well, I was just stating, so I have a lot of female friends that are also single. When they asked me about how I was doing this debate, I showed them your content, and a lot of them were appalled. A lot of them were like, is this guy for real? Like, is this really how he thinks dating works? Like, telling people to not be themselves, telling people to like be a certain way.
I never say don't be yourself.
Hey, hold on. When you tell someone to act a certain way and be a certain way, and you're advising that they don't just do what feels right for them or encourage that they, seek out, like, I don't know. I'm getting to the point where it's like, it's getting to my bedtime and I'm going to go to bed soon. Like I'm someone who likes to be in bed before 11. I'm up with the sun. That's kind of my routine and schedule. Keeps me happy, keeps me healthy. So I apologize that I can't talk for much longer.
Okay. No worries.
But my parting piece is thank you very much for hosting me on here.
Oh, you got to bounce right now?
Yeah, it's 10:26. I know it sounds crazy. I'm an old lady. But
we're just getting good to the good stuff. We're just getting.
I know, but I do really need to get to bed. I would highly recommend, Alex. Like, I don't know if you meditate.
I do.
Do you have a meditation practice?
Yeah, I used to meditate all the time. I still do it from time to time.
Okay, I highly recommend, diving deeper into a meditation practice and exploring maybe tantric sex to incorporate in your feed to kind of maybe create some more depth in the sex and dating advice that you're delivering. Otherwise, I don't know how effective I was in trying to articulate to you the importance of creating safety for women in the realm of dating. But that was my only attempt, was to remind you that
Well,
most women really don't feel safe.
safety is very important for women. And if I had the power to make the dating marketplace more safe for women, I would. I just don't believe that.
You have a huge following on the internet. You have the power to help make the dating space a very safe place for women with your voice and with your videos and your content. Even if it would tank and plummet your engagement, you could. So I'm just letting you know that you have that power, and I would really appreciate it as a woman that you exercise helping us feel safe in the dating scene.
But there's a big difference between feeling safe and actually making the dating marketplace safer. I can make a bunch of videos that talk about, oh guys, less safety for women. That may make women feel safer, but it's not going to actually increase the safety. As a point I was making earlier.
It could. You don't know that. So maybe try posting some safety videos, dude. I would love to repost content of yours that promotes safety and consent and non-manipulative energy in dating. So
there's no manipulation in my channel. Like
that's gonna be my piece. We went over this already, and I know you probably don't fully see it, but that's fine. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sign off and say good night. Okay. And thank you for taking the time. And again, Alex, please, just do a little bit deeper of a dive around safety and dating. And that's from a rape victim. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Well, wish you the best. Take care. All right. That was interesting. I mean, I felt really bad because she was raped and whatnot. That's horrible. But she's arguing from a place of emotion, which I'm trying to be sympathetic to. But yeah, I don't think there's let me just quickly sum up her arguments. She was talking about how my content is manipulative, but the only evidence she was able to show is a title of a video. How to get a girl back to your place is not manipulative in of itself. It just depends on how you do it. So again, whenever people talk about my content is manipulative, they're never able to pinpoint a specific example. When I say manipulative, it's more of a vibe that they get or something like that, right? Which is not the same thing. The second of all, there's a big difference between what women say is going to work and what actually works. We've kind of proven that time and time again. So yeah, I think those are the big things there. In terms of the whole education thing, that was probably the most laughable thing to me, because I think that there's no college, university course that teaches you how to fuck girls better, how to text girls better, how to flirt with girls better. It doesn't exist. And all this I got my degree in sexology. It's purely mental masturbation. It's going to do zero to help guys. In fact, it might actually take you backwards. So if, I had the chance to work with someone who has 5-10 years of experience coaching men and someone who spent 10 years in school, I would pick the guy who has 10 years of experience all day, every day. Trust me, guys, I went to university. I went to a good school. I had a scholarship. I could have got a master and all of that. But I started to realize how useless university was. Now, granted, I had fun. I partied. It was a good time, even though I wasn't getting laid much. Yeah, I had a good time at college. But I was a marketing major in one of the best business schools in the country. And my marketing degree does a grand total of zero in helping me with my current business. I actually have to hire a real marketing expert. I have to learn real marketing, not just the shit that you hear in school. So yeah, college for things like engineering, for the hard sciences, if you want to be a mathematician, a professor, very useful. For things like this, totally fucking useless, 100% useless. And anyone who thinks that just get your master's degree in sexology, that's going to do zero to help anyone. It's pure mental masturbation. So I would stake my life on that. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I think we have one more guy coming on. Let me text him and see. Oh, there he is. All right, we got one more guy, so let's do this. We won't stay on too long, but let's have him on. Yo.
What's up, man?
I can't hear you.
At all?
Barely. Your voice is really, really quiet.
Okay. It's probably muffled on my music.
It's super duper quiet, bro.
Probably better.
No, dude, it's super duper quiet.
Okay. I might have to fuck around and just take the headset off. Do it like that. I did it because last time my voice was low. Shit like that.
It's still really, really low. Say something again. It's super quiet, bro. Is there any way you can turn up your shit because it's so quiet?
Fuck it, I'm gonna kill this.
Say something. It's a little better. Say something again.
Well, it's like lag now, like delay between
No,
us to speak
there's
up.
no lag. It's just like I think it'll be fine, but you have to speak up though, because yeah, last time a lot of people were complaining they just like couldn't hear you.
But I'm saying like on your screen, like on my screen, between your lips moving and actual words
Oh,
coming out, it's the but
there's no lag on my side. Can you guys let us know in the chat how how the audio quality is on his end? Just do say a sentence or two.
okay. I had
My
like
name is
pizza.
Rashad. I have a BBC. I like long walks on the beach. Just keep going.
I had some New York style pizza today. It was amazing. Not gonna lie, probably the best meal I had. It was good.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. Like people can barely hear you. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't know, buddy.
yeah. People, every single person.
I'm gonna
What?
have to talk up. That's all. I'm gonna have to speak up.
Okay, let's hear your big boy voice. Let's hear your loud voice.
I got my parents downstairs, so I'm not gonna be talking like too loud because they're trying to sleep and whatnot. But you can hear this good, right? Like you can hear what I'm saying.
It's really hard. It's better than it
All
was.
right, look, I'm gonna leave and like join back. See if that
Okay.
we can do that.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Uh,
Someone said this is the funniest comment. Wait, let me put this on the screen. His BBC's weighing down his voice. That made me chuckle. Hey,
okay, Lou.
I think it's a little better. Say something, and then we'll get the chat too.
Bro, now it's like you a mice, like a mouse right now.
I sound like a mouse?
Yeah. If you could hear it, like it's a chipmunk.
Oh, really? That's weird. Yeah, no, because my well, let us know if my voice sounds okay, guys. And Rashad's. There was a comment that was pretty funny, made me chuckle. It was his BBC's weighing down his voice.
Try not to laugh. But it's like Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's all I hear. I promise you.
That's weird. Yeah, can you guys hear me? And can you hear him?
All right, we're gonna try this one more time. Hold on.
Okay. Oh boy, I figured his voice would be because I thought last time he was just like tired or something. Hello?
It's the same thing, bro. I don't know what the fuck going on.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's like chipmunk. Like it's sped up in higher octave.
Okay. Do you want to just try this like another night, man? Like when I don't know, maybe you can just like kind of.
We having hella technical difficulties. It's probably honestly.
Well, I think no offense, but I think it's on your end because I just did like the debate.
Yeah, it's
definitely. Yeah.
I just got this computer and shit like today, so I had set it up fully.
Yeah, maybe just set it up and like test it, and then we can even do like a test offline before we go live because I don't want to keep the audience waiting. So yeah, just hit me up once you test it, and we'll set something up.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that, but
just text me.
I bet I got you.
Take care. Yeah, I just didn't want to do a debate where like you guys can't hear anything. I figured his audio would be better because the first time I just thought he was tired or something. I don't know what's going on with the computer on his end. Or maybe he's just like really soft spoken. I don't know. But I could sort of hear him, but he said he couldn't really hear me. And you guys were saying you were having a hard time hearing him. And yeah, I'm like weary of doing a debate where like you can't hear, I don't know, whatever. Both parties. But yeah, so what do you guys think of the first debate? I thought it was interesting. Again, I do feel I sympathize with her bad experiences. I don't know how to say this without like how. I'm just not going to say it. Never mind. I was trying to say something, but I didn't know how to say it without sounding like an asshole. So I'm just not going to say this. Well, yeah. So, what did you guys think about? We'll just do like maybe 5-10 minutes of Q&A. We got 220 people in the chat, and then we'll call it. Oh, by the way, tomorrow we have a my debate with Kevin Ray Wilder. We're going to be debating Roe versus Wade. It's going to be my last ever Roe versus Wade debate. I don't want to get into politics, but me and him are going to do it because you guys said you wanted to see it. So we're going to do it tomorrow. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I didn't know what's a nice way of saying that, but she definitely does. And I mean, I feel for her. That really sucks. That sucks that happens to women. So yeah, she kind of was. Like, people always do that, and I just kind of like I try not to be a dick when they do that because I know their heart is in the right place. But yeah, I'm like, I think I kind of know what I'm doing. Like, like I think I'm doing okay. Like, if you're a YouTuber and you have some tips for me how to run my channel better, I'm totally open to it. But you have to be like ahead of me in the game. Like, if you're like way below me in the game, then like, why would I take advice from you, right? Unless it's something that's like really good. But yeah, like if I start, like, imagine if I tell in my videos how to create a safe place for a girl to have fun with you or something. Like, who the fuck is gonna click on that? Like, people are gonna be like, what the fuck, right? So I don't know what that's gonna accomplish. And yeah, and I also the other argument I was trying to make is that I have no control. Okay, so the guys who are gonna like actually sexually harass girls, they're not gonna listen to me when I say don't ever sexually harass a woman. And I do say that stuff, and I'll say it again. Don't ever like lay your hands on a woman in a violent way, right? Don't ever sexually harass a woman. Of course, that goes without saying. I just don't feel the need to treat my audience like a bunch of dumb fucks. Like, I feel like you guys already understand that stuff, so I don't have to like keep repeating it. But the guys who are gonna do that, they're not gonna like if they're not listening to no from the girl. Do you think they're gonna listen to me when I say don't do that? Like, it's like a hammer store having it's like a gun store having a sign that says don't use this gun to shoot people, right? The people who are the mass murderers, they're still going to use that gun to shoot people. So that sign does like nothing at all, besides potentially making some of the other people feel more safe, but it's a false sense of safety. I do think that what I could do is make videos to tell women how to read red flags so they don't wind up going out with the crazy guys in the first place. That is something I could legitimately do that will have a positive impact on the world. Is if I do that. I probably will do stuff like that because I think that's important. It's just that my content is not really for women, but I'll do a little bit of stuff like that. But me, like just constantly preaching to you guys about that. All you guys who watch my channel, you're not gonna do any of that stuff anyway. So it's like every time I say that, you guys are like rolling your head, like, yeah, of course, man, that goes without saying. And the people who are actually gonna do that, they don't give a fuck what I have to say. Okay. Alex, you got meditate to further our content. I actually do think meditation is great. Alex, never let those people. Yeah, don't worry, they won't. Like I'm always going to keep this channel gangster. I'd rather cut my nuts off, fucking put them in the mail, send them to fucking France, and I don't even fucking know before I let like people tell me how to run my channel. This channel will always stay badass and gangster. I don't give a fuck. Alex, should gaslighting and projector? Yeah, I do think there was a lot of projection of past trauma. And again, I sympathize for her. I mean, that sucks, but it has nothing to do with my content. Okay, what else do we have? So, safe space is a social justice speak, which is entire gender, which most parts seems to have FK University. Yeah, I do think the whole idea of like a safe space is kind of like bizarre. Like, I watch these videos of like people on college campuses and they have like their safe spaces. None of that shit existed when I went to college. And I think it's for the better. Like, these like fucking kids in college nowadays are such snowflakes. They're so like oversensitive. I don't know. What's the best argument that you've heard so far? Depends on who. I don't know. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head, honestly. Will you show us on your Tinder profile how it does? Of course. I always show you guys everything. So yes, I will show you my new Tinder profile once I create it. Why didn't you call her out every time she gaslighted? Because it would involve me interrupting her, and I try to keep my debate civil and polite. So you notice I generally don't interrupt people. I did a few times when it was necessary, but yeah, it would require me interrupting her, and I didn't want to do that, especially because of she was. I feel like she was fairly nice. So I treat people the way they treat me. If someone's a dick to me, I have no problem being a dick to them back. But she was fairly nice and respectful, so there's no way I'm going to go and be a dick to her. Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate statement. How to get the most out of your ultimate date blueprint 2.0. Well, I actually talk about that. The first chapter is about how to get the most out of the product. So just go through everything in order, and it builds on top of each other. But yeah, like the first or the second chapter actually tells you how to get the most out of the product. Do you think any of the chicks you've debated have liked you? How do you pick up on it? Yeah, there's been a few. I don't want to put them on the spot because I don't that wouldn't be cool. But yeah, there's been a few for sure. TikTok. I have some TikTok posts. Sometimes people send me recommendations or requests. Well, this I actually disagree with. Violence is more prevalent towards women. It's more prevalent. Yes, more men get raped if you include the prison population, but if you exclude people in prison, it's definitely more prevalent towards women. At least like real violence. Oh yeah, I found that pretty funny. You don't want to admit you're wrong. Yeah, it's like you have to prove me wrong, and then I'll admit it. Also, Alex, how dare you suggest using her main profile for the thumbnails? Yeah, I found that interesting that she was taking issue with that. Like it was her main profile photo. I was like, hey, can you use this? So initially, how it happened is I had asked her for her first when we first set up the debate when she had that. I was like, hey, can I use your profile photo? I always ask, just so you guys have an idea. Like when I have people on for debate, I'm not like blindsiding them and doing things. Everything is always like I ask, like, hey, can I use this photo? Hey, is this title okay? Like I try to be very, very fair to everyone that I have on for a debate, regardless of how much I like them or not. Even if I think the person's a massive asshole, I'll still ask them if the title is okay, if I can use the photo. But anyway, so she had that photo. She said yes, and then like a week later, before I had a chance to make the thumbnail, she changed the profile photo. So I was like, hey, do you have the other profile photo? I want to use it for the thumbnail. And she didn't respond. So I was like, okay, whatever. I just figured I was like, we can use the one you have now, right? So yeah, I'm surprised that she took issue with that. Nope. Men are victims of violence. Huh. Can someone pull up a statistic on that? I'd be curious to see. Maybe I'm wrong. Tomorrow, the final battle, Alex versus Kevin. Hell yeah. Alex, have you blocked someone for girls disrespected to you? What's your take on it? Because I blocked someone before and they still call me. Yeah, they can all call you from a different number. Have I blocked? No, because I usually troll girls who are disrespectful to me. I usually troll them because it gives me good content and screenshots. So I seldom ever block people. Most of the time I block people who are just ultra annoying. Oh, this is Russian. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. No, not yet. Hopefully soon. Okay. I mean, I think we went. Is there anything else? Jordan Peterson. Oh, can someone link that? I want to take a look. Why not ask SJWs to give their alternative dating advice to men? Well, she did that actually. She did that. She said, just be your genuine self. That's the advice that SJWs always have. That's like the blue pill, typical blue pill advice, which is why I said it can be a meme at this point. But yeah, that's the advice. Just be yourself. Just be genuine, right? How does that help anyone? Like, okay, for me, being myself and being genuine is going to get me laid. Yeah, because I'm pretty charismatic. I can build sexual tension. I can do all that, right? But for women, I mean, for guys, for me, like 10 years ago, that would have done nothing, like nothing at all. Oh, you came back fast.
Yo, I switched out my like my audio settings and whatnot. Can you hear better or no?
It's still really like quiet. Say something longer, and I'll let the chat decide.
So like I woke up, went to work and shit like that today. But craziest thing, right? I almost had a wreck because one person was coming out from the right lane while I was merging forward. Was not paying attention and damn near T-boned me. You know, that was like a scenario.
People are saying it's better, but you're like a hardcore mumbler. Um, I don't know what we can do about that. Can you turn off the mumbling mode for a second, or it's like kind of built into the system?
That's kind of just like, that's how it came in.
You're just a mumbler. Well, hang on.
Yes.
Raise the thing because now I can't hear you.
All right, better.
Yeah, you have to keep it close.
Okay. I
Okay.
just got like a low voice. That's how I always have been.
Yeah, how are you picking
But
up girls with this voice? They can't understand you, man. You're like, hey man, can I get your number? The
I
girl's like,
mean,
what?
face to
You want
face
my
to face,
you want my
I don't I don't speak
Bumble?
over the. I usually don't pick up girls like over the headset, so
Are you doing
it'll
like
just sound a
sign
little
language?
better.
You're like,
Just about. Hey, it's worked a couple times. I'm gonna try it out though. See if my skills are still there.
yeah. All right, well we can chat for a little bit.
But how was
So
your July 4th, man?
it's pretty good. I didn't do anything special. Just hung out with a girlfriend. We shot some TikToks. Yeah, drove her home. Played with my dog. Yeah, nothing exciting. What about yours?
Like, it was good, It's family time. Did some cookout, some grilling, bought some firecrackers, shit like that. It was
Mm.
good.
So are you
What
really
you?
17?
Yeah, 17.
Damn. Okay.
Just turned a month ago, so technically like 16, really.
Damn.
But
So I'm like fucking talking to an underage person. If you were a girl, I would have
yeah,
kicked you off because that would have looked bad.
look, but for this circumstance, I'm 21. You feel me? Like we adults.
Yeah. Another question that everyone had in the comments that I didn't get to ask you, which
What?
I'm curious about. It's a personal question though. Are you ready for it?
Okay. Yeah.
Rashad, are you a virgin?
Yes.
Ah, I knew it. Or are you fucking with me?
Fuck it with you. Come on now. You know what? But for this, I'm a virgin. Everything I say, don't take it seriously because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, if you're 17, you
I'm a
very well
dead.
could be a virgin. I was a virgin when I was 17. I was a virgin when I was 18. I didn't lose my
Yeah, but
virginity
like
until I was 19.
the way my family is set up, by 14, you get bullied like by my brothers and shit if you were still a virgin. So that's just not allowed here. And that's just different. I guess it's different communities, like different
So
cities
what
around,
happens?
like
Like
each
your
state.
family, like when you turn 14, they deliver a
Like you
naked
just,
girl to your bed, and they're like, "Okay, time for you to become a man,
hey,
Rashad."
I could get into that, something close to that, basically. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's that's pretty
for another
cool.
day, you know.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was a late bloomer. I was 19. Oh, it took me a while. So
Look, there's nothing wrong with that, all right? Because I mean, if pussy's not everybody's priority, which I have no issue with. If you want to keep it like celibacy till marriage, as you, I got no issue with it. That's just not working for me.
pussy's like food. When you're eating often, food is not a big deal. When you've gone a
That's very
month or
true.
two without eating, food is a really big deal. Pussy's like that too. If you're
Yeah,
having sex, somewhat regularly, it's not a big deal. You haven't been laid in 2 years, you will literally sacrifice your grandma to bust a nut.
that is true. It becomes like a deficiency almost. So it's
Yeah,
like you would go to any means to get it.
yeah.
So it that's also like your approach. The people can see the desperateness in it, you know. So
Well, it's
that's
like
why the whole point of priority, like I was saying. But you was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, it's like a chicken and the egg thing, right? Because like, yes, you're right. That like if you're really desperate, that's going to be unattractive to women. But you're desperate because you haven't gotten laid in a while. So if you can
Exactly.
just bust a nut, then you won't be desperate. But you can't bust a nut because you're desperate, right? It's a chicken
Yeah,
and the egg type of problem.
it's a
So
thing. It's a thing that like I had advice I was advised to, and I sometimes tell dudes to do this. Well, like before you go, if you know you're gonna go talk to a girl, like y'all made plans already, or that would damn. I guess you got to get the number before that. But like if you're going out in public, my what advice I had like when I was blah, excuse me, when I was dealing with insecurities and whatnot, bust the nut, bust a nut before you go out, so you don't have that. I just want to fuck something mentality. You know, like you're level minded, you're clear headed. You know, like you thinking
I think there's pros and
actually with
cons
your
to
brain.
that. So there's pros and cons to doing that. I see your argument, but I also think that if you jerk off before you go out, you'll have less motivation. That's why I've been doing no fap for like 5-10 years, not religiously, but more or less because like
Mm.
my brain is like the only way I can bust a nut is if it's with a girl. So therefore, I can't slack off. I can't like half-ass it. I have to like really go out there and talk to girls.
Yeah, like I said, this is something you take as a with a grain of salt. You know, like that's if you like need pussy. You know, just so you make sure that you're not in that desperate mindset, like you thinking clearly. But
Oh
me,
wait,
like
Now people are saying a few people say can't hear him. If you turn up the volume, Lilacs is too long. Can't hear. Okay, is there anything you can do? Yeah, now a bunch of people are saying they can't hear. Is there anything you can do to turn up the gain on your mic or something?
let me check my settings. Oof. I'm gonna just fuck around and get some AirPods. I'm just not trying to, honestly, man. I done went through 3 pairs of them already. This would be my fourth one, but I just had to speak up because I don't think that
Yeah. No
I
mumbling.
was. I got you. Sound like my mom now. But look,
No mumbling, Rashad. Oh, you ain't getting any. You ain't getting any chocolate.
chocolate, yeah, that or fried chicken, black.
Yeah, I didn't want to go
Racist.
there. I like that's where my mind initially
You're
went.
good.
I didn't want to be racist with it, so I was like, nope, can't say that. It was like fried
Hey,
chicken,
you're
watermelon. I'm
good.
like, nope. I have to say
Hey,
something
but
neutral.
grape soda too. That
Great.
works too. It's just as good. Watermelon, fried chicken, grape soda. You take all those.
Did you ever see
Yeah.
what's it called? Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, the second one.
I watched the first one, but not the second one.
Oh, you gotta watch the second one. There's a really funny scene with grape soda. Yeah, it's hilarious.
I gotta watch it. Put that on my list. But
Yeah.
look, so as for debating and whatnot, I feel like we already got the point across with the uh why I think dating coaches aren't necessary, right? So we don't need to kick a dead horse. Um, More so, what I feel like would be better if we talked about technique, how to, enhance it, or my perspective, what I do. So it'll be like a teaching moment.
Okay, well, we can do that. Sure, that's cool.
Unless you just want to debate, we could debate this shit too. I
Nah,
have no issue with it.
yeah, I think you're right. We did kind of cover it the first time. We're just going to go in circles. So yeah, I think it
Yeah,
would be probably more interesting to talk about techniques.
because
You can
you
you
a
can talk
man
about
that's
your losing your virginity at 12 technique. I'll talk about my technique.
still a virgin, still a virgin.
And dude, with you, I honestly
Uh,
don't know. I mean, on one hand, you seem like you're kind of like somewhat confident, and you look older than 17. But on the flip side, you're a hardcore mumbler. So I don't know.
Damn, hardcore mumble. That's the first time I heard that. I ain't gonna lie.
So
I
it's
got
like
I gotta write that down for my
you
therapy
might have a
session.
late count of 30, or might be a virgin. I really don't know.
Ooh, honestly, I could kind of see it. 30 in a version. That does sound like my avenue. Well, look,
I know you're not going to tell me anyway. So yeah.
see, see how we like getting to know each other a little better. This is good. This is good.
Yeah, I'll be honest. You started to grow on me a little bit. Like the first time I had you on, I was like, man, like this guy's like annoying as fuck. But like I'm like,
I
like
know it. Like
he's
it was
he's
both
pretty funny.
tensions were high,
Yeah.
like we was both at each other's throat trying to get our point across. But honestly, that's not really how a debate goes. You just put out your point of view. The other one takes it, the other one takes it. But I was trying to more so. I don't know. Tensions were high. I just met you. From first impression, kind of thought you was like a cocky asshole type person.
Well, I am kind of a
But
cocky
like,
asshole.
I am too. Don't get me wrong. I completely am. But I go into approach a little differently
All
because
right.
I'm looking at you as a higher because you like older than me. How old are you?
32.
Damn. See, I didn't mean to say damn like that. But you damn near twice my age. So that's all that was. But we cool now.
Yeah, yeah, we're
Glad
cool.
to
We're
meet you.
cool. If I
Yeah.
saw you, well, I guess we can't have a beer because you're like hardcore underage, but we could like, I don't know,
I ain't
like
stopped you
fucking
before.
pick up girls together or something.
That
Uh,
actually sounds like some shit we do.
yeah,
Test out
yeah,
each other game in person.
yeah, yeah. All right, man. So
Cool.
yeah, what do you want to start off? I guess by kicking it off, like giving kind of your technique, and then I'll just comment on what you said.
Well, okay. Well, this is obviously different techniques for different scenarios, as you
Of course.
said, but this a big one, right? Because a lot of things are more so social now, so it's over a phone. So you got
Oh,
texting,
you got
dating
you're going
apps.
to mumbling mode again. You gotta speak up.
Okay, all right. So when I'm comfortable, that's just how my voice is. But main things like it's mainstream, like dating apps, social media. That's how you meeting girls. That's how you talking to girls. So it's a lot of texting, right? That's
Yeah.
not something I personally do. I hate texting. Like that's just a pet peeve of mine. But what's some of your technique for picking up a girl over text?
Are we talking about a girl that you met on a dating app or a girl you met like on the
Yeah.
street?
Like say you was on Tinder scrolling and you see a
Oh,
pretty
okay.
girl.
Yeah. My technique. Okay. So Tinder, I think people overcomplicate this stuff, but the way I simplify is this. This is what text game boils down to when it comes to Tinder. The first step is the opener, right? The goal of the opener is to keep things short and sweet, get her attention, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Don't send her a paragraph. Just get the conversation started. Second step is building investment, right? So you just want to get her talking, investing, writing you like big messages, like just get her talking, basically banter, vibing, whatever you want to call it. Third step is optimally setting up the date, closing. So that's like, and there's a whole art to that. But I might say like we're talking with the girl, we're bantering. I might be like, "Oh, cool. Do you like wine?" She'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "Cool. We should split a bottle sometime soon." She'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I'm down." I'd be like, "Cool. What's your schedule like?" Right. That's the third step, and the fourth step is confirming. Right. So day before the day, day after day, do you want to confirm? Make sure it's on. The fifth step, which doesn't always come in, is dealing with concerns and objections if they come up, right? And sometimes they don't. That's really what texting can be simplified down to.
Okay. Well, see me, I have like a little different approach
Okay.
because, like I said, I don't like texting. So
Step one,
I'm
send her a
first
picture of the BBC. Step two, win.
just about. Make sure that she's not trying to stalk me anymore. Get cameras set up around the house.
Yeah.
But look, I hate texting. So my main priority when I started talking to her, like opening, like you said, once we start communicating, I'm short with it. So I get my number in there as soon as possible. But there's a little to as minimum conversation as it can be over text, because I feel like that is an unneeded step because you're
Okay.
not really seeing personality. It's just basically talking to a robot
So,
because she
so
can
you're
be
talking
real,
about
she
for
can be
dating
cool.
apps or girls you meet like on the street?
Same thing on the street or
I do think it's a little
traditional.
different because a girl you met in real life, like she already knows you. Like you've already built some attraction and comfort in person, right? So you don't have to do nearly as much. But on a dating app, she doesn't know who you are, right? She has no idea who you are.
Exactly. But the thing is, what are you bringing? Because texting, I already know there's like 100 dudes that can text better than you. So that's not really something that you can compete in. If your text game is ass, then you just gonna lose out every time, right?
Make sure the text game is not asinine. I mean, like,
Simple enough. But I feel like that's a lot more. That takes more time. That's a craft that you have to sharpen and develop the more you do it. But I mean, you got to anyway if you want to continue using the dating app. But my thing, my technique, I don't use dating apps, but if I was to start a conversation, like make sure y'all are having a little bit of good time, so it's not like, dude, this nigga is so fucking annoying. Get your number in there. If she want to use it, cool. If she don't, cool. You moving on about your day. If you wait and ask for her number, then you have to take extra steps. You gotta put it in, make sure she didn't give you a fake number, right? Text her. If she don't reply, then you going back, hey, I texted you, double texting and whatnot, which is extra steps. If you give her your number, she can choose whether she want to use it or not. If she don't, you move on to the next girl. Move on about your
Oh,
day.
let
Forget
me
about it.
explain why I don't like that.
Okay.
Because uh, because you're putting the burden of initiative on the girl, and girls are notoriously terrible at taking initiative. So the girl could like you, but then she still doesn't text you, right? Because girls are just horrible at leading. So I always prefer being the one that like takes the initiative.
Okay. Well, even with that, it does enough substance in your texting because I guess I haven't thought about that because it's not really something I've had an issue with, right? Because her taking initiative to put my number in, I'm a lazy dude when it comes down to shit like this. So I tell a girl, I'm lazy, I'm not typing that in. You do it for me, you know. A little cocky, little asshole-ish, but no complaints so far.
So how
But
do you mostly meet girls? You meet mostly girls in like real life, I assume.
as more so, like IG, sometimes if I'm bored, it depends on what I'm doing. Usually I'm outside all the time, like I'm working. Like right now I'm taking ACT and GED prep courses because I'm starting college next fall and whatnot. So I'm outside a lot. So I'm out doing things, meeting people, and it's simple for me. So I'm not really on my phone a lot. I'm not really on social media, dating apps, anything like that. So I guess my approach is a little different than a nigga, than a person, sorry, than a person that is in the house,
He said it,
on
not me.
the
Don't
app.
take it from me.
It's just how I talk. Yeah, I'm trying to
No,
keep it
I could care less. Yeah,
professional.
I just
Yeah,
want to clarify that. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like my life versus the average person life, I understand it's a little different. He's more so inside playing the game on his phone, you know. So that's where I feel like your approach would probably suit them better. But that's how I do things. You can apply it, try it out, see if it works. If it doesn't,
Well, let's unpack that a little bit. So your approach is like you meet a girl in real life, you put your number in her phone, you have her text you. What happens after that?
after that, like she texts you, right? I hate like after she actually texts your iMessage, get her on the phone as soon as possible. You don't need to ask. You don't be like, hey, is it cool if I call her tonight? Just call her, right? If y'all interaction was good, there's a very slim chance that she doesn't pick up the phone. If she
Okay, so
does, if she
so you call the girl.
Yeah, because that's how you can get your personality. She gets to see
Uh,
more of you. Like you said on dating apps, it's kind of difficult for her to actually see who you are. So that's why I feel like texting is do is least
I think I'm
that
starting
is
to understand
possible.
your strategy. You get her on the phone and you mumble until she just gives in. She's like, "Okay, I'll fuck you.
Yeah, she
I
I have
can't
to
take any
force
more
it.
of this mumbling. Okay, okay, I'm
Exactly.
coming
Like,
over."
look, you have two options. You can listen to this mumbling ass voice, or you can meet me at dinner, and we can talk.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you
Yeah,
really
you
take
see?
girls out to dinner though?
No, I don't do dates.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured. So you
I
have
don't.
what do you do? Do you invite the girl like straight to your place or?
It depends. Like if I'm linking with the girl, it depends on the girl, honestly. Sometimes, I'll be honest, if I'm really fucking with her, I might go out. Like, cause I'm already out, I'll be like, look, come with me. I won't plan a date around her. I'll let her into my day. But usually it's
Well, like, what kind of
just
stuff will you do? Because you're like 17, so you can't really go to bars or clubs. So what are you like? Where are you taking them?
like, cause I roller skate. That's one thing I do. Like I love roller skating, like skateboard, longboard, bow, like like arcade shit, like cool, like laser
Okay,
tag. I might be going out
okay.
with somebody like with brother, so play laser tag. I'm like, look, slide through and bring a friend for my brother. You feel me? some shit like that. Like it's cool, you know.
Okay.
It's not too much pressure because she don't have to worry about, oh, is he gonna like this or I just it's easier because y'all just
No,
be
I
going
think
out
there's
having a
definitely
good time.
advantages to calling the girl. I guess the only issue is a lot of girls nowadays they don't pick up the phone. A lot, especially like girls your generation. Well, I'm not going for 17-year-old girls, so let's just say 18, 19-year-old girls. They don't even know you can use the phone for talking. So like if you call them, they're just like, oh my god. So like I guess like I don't know, like what percentage of girls that you call will pick up the phone would be my question.
Like I'm not gonna bullshit. It's gonna sound like bullshit, but I'm being completely honest. About 80% pick
80%.
up. About 80%. It's it's really more so on communication because when I do call get a girl number, first thing I tell her, right? This is just something you can use once you get them. Like, look, I need two things from you, right? Contact info, cause I fuck up girls' numbers. Sometimes I get them mixed up, so I use a picture to actually know their name, but I don't tell them all that. Uh, Contact picture and your attention when I call you tonight. That's some simple shit. I just thought of like
Okay.
two things I need from
I
you.
would love to see a video of you picking up a girl. That would make me very happy.
That honestly, that would be something entertaining for me to do, cause
Dude,
like
you
I
should
said, it's
definitely
fun.
do it, and I'll review it on my channel.
I thought about like starting a YouTube channel. I just don't have the time for it right now, but it's probably something I would do. Cause like I said, this is all fun to me. It's not work to me, so I feel like I could turn it into something. But we'll
Someone's
see how
asking
that go.
this. What kind of girls do you go for? Do you go for white girls, black girls, Latina girls?
Uh, okay, so me personally, I like melanin. Like no offense, but I like melanin. So Dominican, well, which falls on Latina,
Okay.
uh, black and like mixed girls, things of that nature. My type, like my body type, I'm not gonna get into all that. I like women, but for white girls,
You like big asses. I get it.
exactly, you
Yeah,
get me, you feel me.
I
But
understand.
yeah, that's just how I am.
Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that video of you picking up a chick would be quite interesting. That'd be
Yeah,
amusing. I have a few on my channel. I did some like videos of me picking up girls.
see that's one thing, cause a lot of people think you bullshitting. You feel me? Unless you have solid proof, like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about, so that is probably something
Oh,
I should do.
I have a shitload of solid proof. Yeah.
Yeah, see that's my thing too. I'm cocky. I feel like I don't need to prove anything to you. So that's one reason why I don't do it. I have like an ego somewhat. So
No, I mean, I
like
don't think you
if
have to prove anything to me. I do think it would be entertaining, though. The video of you like
yeah,
picking.
that's what not to you. I know that like you're not somebody that I feel like I have to prove myself to. I feel like we are mutual understanding on that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just if I do start like a fucking YouTube channel or something like that, like a channel, but not content, that is something I do.
All right, dude. Well, let me know. Let me know if you ever start that YouTube channel.
Yeah, for sure.
I think some of my audience will be curious to see that.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to discuss?
Yeah. Well, I guess my question is, right? So how do you what is your advice to what is your best way to get women? Like is it in public over dating app? Like what do you tell people to
I
do?
think it's good to diversify. So I recommend guys to meet girls on dating apps, in public, at bars, through friends. I think it's good to have multiple lead sources. I think that you want to diversify. I think you want to optimize each one of those. So if you're going to do dating apps, have really good profile photos, have a good bio, have good text game. If you're going to do cold approach, have good game, good conversation skills, good flirting. If you're going to do social circle, have a good Instagram. So yeah, I think it's good to diversify.
Okay, so what is code approach? I've heard that a lot in a
It's
lot
what
of
we were
rooms.
talking about earlier. It's approaching a girl that you see like in real life.
Okay. Nah, that's simple. Okay. Well, another okay, I did want to ask you about this because I saw it on there.
Yeah.
Like your double texting thing, like the what did you use for it? It was some phrase that you use.
Uh,
But
Depends on the video. We'd have to pull up the video. What,
yeah, I just have to remember it. But so you you advocate for double texting, correct? Like if a
uh,
girl is not
it
replying.
depends on the situation, but in a certain situation, yeah, I don't think you should like double text her like in an hour. I think you should give it a few days. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with hitting up a girl. Here, I'll actually show you something. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, there it is. So let me share my screen. I'll show you like a good example of double texting at play. So this is my website. Okay, look at this chick. Pretty fucking hot, right?
Mhm.
Well, it doesn't matter. She's my type. Anyway, so
Nah, I
this is
agree with you.
this is a conversation we had, right? So far it's normal, right? So I give her my number. She doesn't follow up with me, right? I give it 2 days and I double text her, right? Don't be shy. Boom, she texts me, right? If I didn't do that, this conversation would have ended here, right? Uh, and I wouldn't have those juicy titties in my face. Okay, here the conversation begins. I send her. Here I have to triple text her, right? So I send her this. She doesn't respond. I send her this. A few days later, she doesn't respond. I give it 3 days, and then I playfully call her out. Are you always this talkative, right? And then, bam, the conversation is back on track, right? Bam, she stops responding one more time. Now, this is an extreme example. I send her this meme, which is hilarious. It's like waiting for you to text back like dead. And then she texts me back. Conversation gets back on track. Here I have to reengage a third time. But then the conversation is back on track, back on track, back on track. Dog photos, dog photos. Bam, we have sex, right? None of that would have happened if I didn't reengage and double or triple text her multiple times at these various points.
Okay.
So I think sometimes if you do it correctly, it can be very beneficial.
See, but for me, that's way too much investment. Like the first time that she didn't respond, I would have dropped it then, to be honest with you. Because I feel like females, they test how much of their time they can waste, how much they can get away with.
Well, this chick wasn't wasting my time. Like we wound up having sex.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people in this current generation, a lot of them prefer like relationships for whatever fucking reason. I don't know,
I don't think
but
so. I think a lot of chicks say that, but a lot of chicks are very DTF
now
nowadays.
I'm talking about guys. Guys are more so trying to cuff females more,
I
or
think
that
guys are
love
saying
females.
that, but I think any guy, if I'm like, yo, I can get you 10 big set of titties in your face this weekend, or I can get you a girlfriend, they're going to be like, titties, please.
True. If you put that up, but a lot of people they don't have that option to get
Right,
titties
right,
compared
right.
to
Yeah, yeah,
titties.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, they don't. That's true. I agree with you on that. Uh,
So they're trying to look for stability like a girl they can continuously go back to. So I feel like with that, for that rather, the double texting, like continuously trying to follow up, I feel like that's a waste of time long run because she knows now that your time isn't as important to you, right? Or she's more important to you than your time itself.
no, I disagree with that because I've had many situations. This chick was just a one night stand, I'll be honest. But I had many situations similar to that where I double, triple texted her before the date. And then, see, the thing what happens is once you have sex with a girl, the dynamic flips. So before sex, unless you're like a celebrity or something, she has most of the power, right? She's the gatekeeper for sex. Once sex happens, the dynamic flips, and now she's the one chasing you, most often not, especially if you fuck her well. So my whole thing is like, like I don't mind being the one that chases her a little bit until the sex because I know that dynamic is going to flip after sex anyway, and then she's going to chase me. And I've had that happen many, many times.
See me, I hate chasing.
I don't like it either. Dude, if
Like,
I was like a celebrity and I had like girls lining up to fuck me, then believe me, I would not be double, triple texting. But I do think that like nowadays, like if you're going for like the hotter girls, like the girls who are like the eights and nines, they have so many options, like so many options, so many
okay,
dudes are blowing
here's
up.
the thing for options, right? A pretty girl, yeah, she has a lot of people to choose from, but most of the people that she has to choose from are the same caliber of person, right? So
Mm,
all of those options, she's not really going for them. She's human at the end of the day. You
that-
feel me? Like
So
So
okay,
like,
so yes and no to what you said. I think that yes, a lot of those options are kind of shitty, but they also have some good options. I've done these experiments. Like we took. I remember my girlfriend, my three girlfriends ago, pretty girl. Right, we created a Tinder profile for her, dude. Like guys, like some of the options were really good. Like the guys were like, hey, I got back seats to Diplo contest or like content. What's it?
uh,
Concert.
yeah.
I got this. Like the offers that she was getting were like really fucking good. And like some of the guys seemed like they were like really good looking. They looked like they had all their shit together. So there's nothing wrong with some of the guys. So I think yes, a lot of the options do suck, but there's also a lot of decent options out there. And I think you do have to be, if you're going for the hotter girls, you do have to be persistent. I can tell you, like personally, like I've had a lot of situations where with like the sixes and the sevens, it was really easy. But with like the eights and nines that I fucked, I've pretty much every single one of them, with the few exceptions, I had to be persistent in the beginning, right? I had to like follow up and follow up. I had to be very diligent, and that was the only way I was able to bang her. And then once I bang her, the dynamic flips, and she's the one chasing me. But I've had so many situations like the eights and nines where I had to be like really, really persistent in order to get her to meet up.
That's the thing with it. Like when you're more attractive, right, and you have a broader scale of people to look at, like a higher arsenal, right? If you want to use that, you become more picky to detail. So even if it's okay, I've got a 5-star hotel reservation. You just taking her out to eat, you know? Like that's all it is. It's just a more expensive McDonald's date. So she'll take that. She'll be like, okay, I can get a good meal out of this person. Excuse me, I got to sneeze, but it fuck with me. But this
Mhm.
sneeze gonna fuck me up. This sneeze gonna fuck me up.
God
So
bless you, sir.
appreciate it. But yeah, I feel like even then, like, cause like you said, it's some okay pick, like a little higher, but that becomes her new normal. So she becomes used to, okay, I got this, that, and the third. Like anyone under that is average as hell. Like me and you, like, would take her out too. I
But then,
can.
how does she know that you're this awesome guy? You haven't met her
That's the
yet.
thing. Like my approach, like I said, I don't chase. I have no issue. A little challenge. I like a challenge. I don't like easy pussy. That's not how I am. But I never chase. I never go out of my way, take time out of my day to like, okay, God, I need to figure out a way to get this girl. Like
Yeah, I mean,
that's not
I
me.
don't do that either. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not.
I'm not saying you. I'm definitely not saying you. But I'm saying like off the jump, I like to withhold sex from the girl. Cause obviously all these other people are trying to fuck her.
You
That
withhold
looks
sex from the girl.
I'll withhold sex from a girl until I feel like I want to fuck her.
So
Cause sex,
how does that work? She's like, oh, okay, Rashad, let's have sex, and you're like, no.
not quite like that, right? But there's certain psychological things that you can pick up on. Okay, like she's ready to fuck now, you know? Like she'll
Yeah,
drop hints and whatnot. The longer you make it wait, like the longer you make her wait, the more anticipation she get, the more sexual tension that you
I
feel.
agree with that. But then if you make her wait too long, she just goes out and fucks another guy.
She can fuck another guy, but she's still thinking about me. She's fucking another person because she wants my dick. She wants dick inside of her.
Well, she just wants a
So
dick. It doesn't necessarily have to be your dick.
I'm telling you, I'm speaking from personal experience. Like I had plenty of girls tell me, like after we fucked, yeah, I fucked another dude thinking about you. Like the person I fucked, you was in my head whole time.
Maybe, yeah, but maybe you got her horny, sure. But I guess like, I mean,
It's deeper
there's a
than
lot of
that.
nuance to it. But if you're like at a bar, for example, right, and you're talking to a girl and you sense that she's DTF and she's ready to go home with you, and you just like instead of pulling her back to your place, you just get her number. She might go and fuck the next guy she talks to, right? And then even though you're the one that got her like warmed up, he's the one that still got laid, right? So you do have to. It really depends on the dynamic. Like I'll do this with my girlfriend because I know my girlfriend's not going to go anywhere. I'll tease her sometimes and build some sexual tension, right? And like almost make her earn sex, right? But that's all part of like fun and games. But I wouldn't do that with a random girl at the bar because she could just easily go home and fuck another guy. When I sense a girl's DTF at the bar, I'll just bring her back to my place and get laid.
That's understandable. I get what you're saying. Like that's also a majority of people. But me personally, getting laid, like just fucking a girl, that doesn't bring me anything anymore.
Yeah,
Like
because you lost your virginity when you were like 5, so I get it.
But yeah, I don't get excitement from that. So I prefer to not only fuck her, but also like fuck her mind, like mentally, like deeper to get her addicted to me. Like that's more so my goal.
Yeah,
Like I can
I
fuck
see where you're coming from.
fucking itself is kind of easy. Would you agree?
You like the kind of like the what's the term, like the ego hit or something that you get when you like
Exactly.
have the girl
Like
like be obsessed with you. Yeah, I
I
used
get so much more pleasure from knowing she's got all these dudes trying to fuck. Even she might fuck them, but whole time I'm the only one that is on her mind consistently throughout the day.
yeah. I
And I
know
can
people.
touch her in a way that no one else can. You know, like
Yeah,
that's where I get my pleasure from.
I've heard people who have that logic. I know people who think like you. That's never been how I think. To me, I could care less. I just care about like the end goal. But yeah, I know people who think like you. It's just a different strokes for different pokes, I guess. Uh,
True. Like I said, it's more so just on the person itself, because a lot, like I said, majority they really just trying to fuck. They don't care about that. But that's more so my approach,
well,
because
I
I
think yeah, you got to be like not in a place of scarcity before you would even consider doing that. Like
exactly.
you have to like like pussy can't be a big deal,
Yeah, like 'cause
which it is
I'm
for 95% of men.
that is true. So that's where I feel like my techniques they're a little bit more. I don't want to sound rude, but advanced. You know, it's like different leveling. Cause right here you got dudes that really just trying to get their rocks off, which I understand now. I've been there already. But and then it's when you already have that, right? Like you already have that plethora of females. Then you move up. You move on to greater things.
Damn, dude.
You know.
I'm just trying to imagine like you were like fucking at 14. At 17, you're already like kind of bored of sex, and you're playing all these advanced games. Where are you gonna be at when you're like 25 or 30? You're gonna be like fucking at a donkey show in Mexico, like fucking like I don't know, like three midgets sucking your dick. Like you're gonna be like, like you fucking matured
I'm trying to have.
so much earlier than like most people.
I'm trying to have like a midget orgy in Dubai by the time I'm 25.
Yeah, I think you'll be there in a few years for sure.
That's my goal right now.
Yeah, I
But
can
yeah, it's
tell.
I've always been a more ambitious person, right? So I've always tried to be the best at anything I do. So I don't average to me, it's not worth doing.
What do you do?
Especially
What are you studying? Like, what are you trying to do for career?
right now. Uh, well, I'm going to college for civil engineering, but it's a lot of things that I'm gonna branch off of that with. Like
Mm,
that's more so a stepping stone for I think. But another thing that I'm really into is like human psychology, because depression and whatnot is a huge thing. Like people's self confidence is so low now, and it's so impacted by other people around them. That's why more people are killing themselves. You know, like
yeah.
so that's something like I've had like more so a gift in doing, helping people with that. So that's something I want to continue to do.
You just mumble at them until the depression goes away.
Just about, cause like I'm gonna keep mumbling at you until you just get your ass out of there. You know,
Until you
and it
start feeling
worked.
happy. Hey,
Exactly.
what's up with the red lights? Is that like some kind of like 50 Shades of Grey type of room going on in there, or what's the deal with that?
That's how I sleep. Like I sleep at red. Like it's usually like fucking blue and purple, like some offset. But like I said, I got off work, took a shower, and I hopped on this.
Do
So
you do
I
that
just
for like health reasons, or you just like those colors?
it's just calming to me. Like my
Oh,
nerves is settled. You know.
I feel like that would like kind of bug me out if there was like red lighting. I'd be like, where the fuck am I?
True.
I guess I
But
get.
you know, I'm used to going to females' houses with like red already in there, so it's more so a calming effect for me. Like I guess it varies with different people though, but that's just for me.
Dude, you gotta do like a rap song where you just mumble through the whole rap song. And like no one understands the lyrics, but they think it's the greatest song ever. Like I don't know what the fuck that guy said, but that sounds like a good song.
I'm gonna redefine mumble rappers. That's gonna be like my
Yeah, yeah.
new personal brand.
Do you know who Do you know who Lil Dicky is?
Yeah, that what's that one song by him? Freaky
Uh,
Friday, like with Chris Brown.
yeah, yeah, Freaky
Yeah,
Friday. Yeah,
I listened
yeah,
to a couple of his songs.
yeah. That guy's funny. He does his whole thing is like doing comedy rap.
Yeah,
It's
I
pretty
know.
funny.
Like,
He has a good one
I'm
With Snoop Dogg. People in the chat are saying, "Alex, answer my WhatsApp." What you guys want to debate each other? Yeah, sure. You guys can. We can set that up. I guess. Just let me know in the chat what you guys want to debate each other about. I guess.
but I feel
But
like now we're not even really debating. We're just
no, no,
talking
I'm
about
not.
past
They're
stuff.
not talking about you. They're talking about
Yeah,
like,
I know. I'm just saying.
yeah.
Like, is I'm just looking at how it changed from last time we was like trying to fucking
Well, I think
cuss
that's the
each other
good
out.
thing about doing like debates and conversations. I've had a lot of times where like it started confrontational, but then it became like you're like, "Yo, we're chill." I've had that happen multiple times. Uh, usually
But I
with
feel like
chicks, but with
that's
dudes,
more so like the end goal. Like, 'cause I feel like if you, like you said, confrontational, you're not really gaining anything. Nobody learns in that. Nobody wins. You know. So and that can build a more toxic environment surrounding you and your content. People look at it in a more negative aspect.
pros and cons. Yeah, I think like having a friendly, relaxed conversation is a lot more pleasant, but it also gets a lot less views. Like,
True, true.
so it's like pros and cons. People are asking, "Where are you from?"
Mississippi,
Mississippi.
surprisingly, yeah,
Okay.
it's not shit here. But I'm moving next year. Why am I giving out my personal business? But Atlanta is where I'm finna be in.
Atlanta. Okay. I hear Atlanta is actually pretty good. My old roommate used to live there.
Yeah, it's a lot to do. You can vary out of different things, but there's a lot of people there, like rappers, mainstream rappers, like want to be models. It's a whole lot of dynamic of people, and I like being around people interacting. That's how I build myself, stepping out of my comfort zones and whatnot. So I feel like I could grow more so in that area. Mm. It
Yeah.
was out of Florida, but Florida's too fucking hot. So
Yeah, I
that's
got you.
how I
I
changed
live
it.
in Florida. I live in Miami.
Oh, I feel like that's good for like spring break and summer because you'll get all of that crowd coming straight to you.
Miami's great like year round. There's hot chicks here year round. You
Oh,
cannot walk down the street without seeing a big booty Latina.
see, now I might gotta come up there now.
Yeah, I
Don't
think it would
say
be like
that.
right up your alley.
Damn, I gotta replan my life now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But look, man, I don't know if you got other things scheduled, but like I said, I feel like we're not really debating anymore. But I don't wanna hold up. I don't wanna keep too much of your time. Your viewers probably pissed off at my mumble.
They are a little bit, but yeah. No, I mean, I think I'm happy you came on. I'm glad we could like kind of. This is a nice, I guess not trilogy because this is the second one, but like a nice little part two. It went
Yeah,
from being like somewhat confrontational to super friendly. But yeah, man, I'm glad we could kind of vibe.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely, man.
I
Like
still can't believe you're fucking 17, almost 16. That's insane. Like
technically 16 if you take
that's
that far
nuts.
back,
I
but
can't believe I'm
I
like
hadn't even
low
met
key talking to a minor. It doesn't feel creepy because you look a lot older, so like that's kind of how I'm justifying it in my mind. But if you were like a chick,
you.
I
Hey,
would have had to like kick you off.
like 17, nah, you gotta go block them easily.
With a chick, yeah, dude. Like if I approach a chick on the street and she's like, "Oh, I'm 17," I'm like, "Okay, cool, nice to meet you." See you. Like
Yeah.
I end it right away. Like I never like I don't fuck with
See,
that at
that's the
all.
thing with me though. Like I love older girls, right? It's the maturity aspect that I just like. I talked to a 23-year-old when I was 15 years old.
That's funny
Like
that to you 23 is older. To me, 23 is like so much younger.
true, like to you, like that's still kid level. But I'm growing. I'm trying to get a 36-year-old by the end of the year. You know, like that's actually check that 60.
So you really lost your virginity when you were 14?
Uh, if you technically speaking, I was 11.
11.
Yeah.
Holy shit! How did you pull that off?
Uh, it was a girl because my mom she teaches students like so I had like a whole classroom in my house and it was just the same age group basically. She was a couple years older than me, but just lungy room nigga that's curious about fucking girl that's with it.
At 11. Oh my lord. Dude, when I was 11, I wasn't even thinking about sex. I was just like, I hadn't even started jerking off yet. I was just thinking about like riding bikes and like getting into trouble. Like,
Exactly.
at the age of 11, to me, the idea of having sex would be like going to Mars. It's like unimaginable.
Hide and seek was getting boring to me. You know, I had to move on to
Yeah,
girls.
clearly. Yeah, that's fascinating. It's just such a different upbringing than me. Do you think that's like more common in black culture to like lose your virginity like younger?
It is. I feel like it is because it's not really looked at because a lot of because you know what white people is more so. Well, I feel like this is racist to say. I don't mean this in any
You
ill
can
way,
say it,
but
dude. I don't care.
your households are more so built on family structure. Like your family structure is okay. Meet a girl, marry her. You know, like y'all. Like it's more like Christian based, somewhat,
Mm,
somewhat. You know, like Pentecostal, whatever you want to do. But like that's what I feel like in black households is more so from a young age you have your uncles, your cousins, older brothers all teaching you about sex. Like you
mm.
pushed into that at a very young age. Very young age. So it's more normalized, you know.
Yeah. No, that
And
makes sense. I was we were talking about this the other day. I also feel like on average black guys they have like an easier time like being like sexual and like I don't know, just like going for what they want versus a lot of white guys they like struggle with that. They're like, "Oh, I don't know if I should say this. I don't want to like do this." Versus
exactly.
black guys are more like, "Fuck it."
But you gotta think about it. Like you kinda have to be raised like that in like America. I don't wanna bring politics and shit like that into it. But to get where you wanna go, you have to work a little bit harder than every other person. You know, so you don't really have time to hesitate or the time to be in your head about things. You just gotta go. Because if you're not moving, there's not food on the table. You know, if
Mm,
you not hustling, making money, like that's just something that is driven into you universally, like at a very young age. You know, but yeah, I feel like the way things are set up in our country kind of plays into that. You know,
mm.
but
I,
I mean, as my personal opinion, you might vary, but yeah, that's how I see it.
I sort of agree. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, anyway, yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. It was a good
Yeah,
convo.
man. I
We
appreciate you
got we,
having me, man.
we got to learn a little bit more about Rashad.
And a little bit more about Alex, man. I have to watch your content more. So
Yeah, check it
yeah,
out. I feel like you'll like
yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah,
Cool,
for
man.
sure, man. But look, like I said, I appreciate you having me, and enjoy the rest of your night, man.
For sure, dude. You as well, man.
All right,
Take
for
care.
sure.
Bye bye.
Peace.
That was so fascinating. Like he lost his virginity when he was 11. Oh my, yeah. When I was 11, I was like, dude, like I was like so far from having sex. It's insane. But hey, it's just like it's just fascinating because it's such a different upbringing than me. That's why I kind of kept the convo going because I was so fascinated. Just like such a different upbringing than I had. Uh, but yeah, imagine if this guy like learns like formal game and like I don't know, maybe fixes the mumbling a little bit. By the time he's 22, he could be like crushing it. He could be at like hundreds and hundreds of women. I do think it's a big advantage to get like a start early on in life. That's kind of what I wish I did because I literally started learning game when I was 22, 23, which is not super late, right? But if I started learning when I was like 15, 16, I don't know, like that would be like a big leg up. So I think the earlier you can start learning a skill, the better. Uh, Alex, can you approve educate Terrell versus Greg in debate? Okay, you guys want to see this? We can not tonight, but yeah, sure, we can. I don't care. I can set it up. Yeah, sure. I think Educated Tyrone has my number, so just text me. Well, I don't even understand what are you guys bickering about in the chat? I saw that a little bit. You guys are like bickering back and forth. What exactly is the drama here between Educated Tyrone and Greg? Can someone give me like a refresher course on that? Uh, I need to be brought up to speed. I saw a little bit of that, but yeah, uh, Rashad is definitely natural. Yeah, I agree. He definitely is. Uh, yeah, interesting guy for sure. Interesting guy. Definitely a nice change of pace after our first debate. Okay, let me see if there's any questions before we call it. I don't know. Oh, Rhaegar made an appearance. Rhaegar! Will you interview STEM to stud AK squatting Constanova? Yeah, probably at some point. Okay. Well, anyway, I was curious to see what the drama between Educate Tyrone and Greg is, but no one's replying. So, yeah, I guess that's basically it. Uh, you're talking about our first debate. Yeah, we definitely did. Yeah, it got pretty combative during the first one. No, man, like not tonight. I'll do a stream about that at some point because if I do yours, I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of other ones. Uh, Easily if he earns legit PUA. Yeah, like formal. I'll just call it formal game, but yeah, because he has like natural game, which is good. But if you like the best guys I've ever seen are naturals who learn formal game. Those guys were like fucking just next level. Like the naturals who also learn formal game. That's a very rare but very powerful combination. Uh, Okay, anyway, I think we got through everything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. Remember, tomorrow we got the debate with Kevin Ray Wilder. The debate. Yeah, debate with Kevin Ray Wilder. We're going to be talking about the Roe versus Wade thing. He's arguing for pro-life. I'm arguing for pro-choice. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And please smash the like button. It's always appreciated. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.